916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. And as much fun as yesterday's show was, no case of the Mondays, is it possible to have a case of the Tuesdays, Chris Watkins, as we ranked our days, a couple weeks ago, and Tuesday is my worst day. I don't care about Taco Tuesday. I'll eat tacos whenever I want. And this is a rough Tuesday as the Kings are not able to. We thought the Kings' biggest foe was the Warriors. Turns out it's the Pelicans. They cannot get over that hump. We've seen the Kings get blitzed at the beginning. Okay, that's tough. We've seen the Kings make a close game out of it. Okay, that's tough. Now we've seen the Kings jump out against the Pelicans, and they still can't get it done. Chris Watkins, how are you doing, my guy?
Not great. Not great. Just not great. I mean, it would have been really fun to see this team move on to Vegas and see what they could have done in the next round of the in-season tournament. It would have been great to see a potential, Pacers Kings final in Vegas as well. I think that's kind of secretly what a lot of people were hoping for. Mm-hmm. But here we are. This is now we get to act like what is there 27 other teams now that are just going to act like this in-season tournament thing just ultimately didn't matter. Yeah. And it was fun while it lasted, but boy, oh boy, glad to get back to regular season basketball now.
Right.
So yeah, that's where I'm at. It's not feeling awesome, but at the end of the day, we can at least brush it off. We won't be the first team to ever win the in-season tournament, but it's whatever.
Yeah, and I think it was an opportunity you could have, I wouldn't say sneak, but with everything still trying to be created and we don't know how much everybody is going to care, would have been a nice thing for the Kings to be able to take home, get your guys a little bit more national spotlight, whether it's De'Aaron Fox or even Coach Mike Brown and some of these guys, and really start to build that up, right? And yes, we're going to have to talk about Tyrese Halliburton because his team won. His team won, and he went off, and that's what it's about. We talked about it last night, and even though De'Aaron Fox, he got a 30-burger, but some people were accusing him a little bit, not me, of, hey, he did a lot of that when the game was not out of reach, but at no point when De'Aaron scored, what was it? Maybe the beginning. It was midway through the fourth, beginning of the fourth. Maybe at the very beginning, you thought, "Hey, okay, if they get rolling, then they couldn't stop anything." And then it was pretty apparent that it wasn't going to happen for the Kings. So a lot to get to there. Chris Beerman joins us at 11 a.m. to talk Niners and Kings. We will have more Shohei watch throughout the show. I think it goes without saying. We will be busting out the trade generator. It's not necessarily blame pie today, but there's going to be a lot of blame to go around, and we are bringing back at 12:15. It's been a while, and look, we can't be collective homers here. You can't just do beaming or dreaming after the Kings have a big win. So we haven't done it in a while. 12:15, we will do beaming or dreaming. How are you feeling about the Kings? Yep. And that is quite the question right now. We'll have some Niners talk as well. Brock Purdy. We have some pretty wild stats that go against the Brock Purdy stereotypes of the check down Charlie and his guys are doing all the work. When you compare him to other MVPs in terms of yards after catch, Brock Purdy is maybe not where you would think he is. So at least we have some positives to talk about there. It is a really weird feeling, and I'm trying to compare it to something. I don't know if it's the same as a team losing their conference championship, but still getting into to March Madness. Maybe it's something like that because, hey, you had a better chance because there's less teams in the conference championship. You could have got a nice championship there. But either way, the larger prize is winning the national championship. Maybe that's the closest thing I have to this. And and I know you follow soccer or football, so maybe there's something closer to this feeling that we have where you're still in a good spot. Now don't get it twisted. Now this loss counts, right? This loss counts against a real record. Yep. And then you were saying that for some odd reason tonight, even if the Suns lose as the 4 seed, because the NBA is lazy, and I guess this game doesn't really matter in the same way. It was just easier to send whoever lost the game last night to the loser of the game tonight for whatever reason that is. So the Kings will either be going to a ticked off Suns team or a ticked off Laker team, which also isn't great. And again, those games also count against your record.
They sure do. Yeah, it's a weird situation. The only reason why I could imagine the NBA has it that way is just for simplicity's sake of just saying, hey, we have this bracket.
Yeah.
We're just going to follow the bracket. We're not going to worry about, if the Kings win or Kings lose and Suns lose, then that's a home game for the Kings. But if the Lakers lose, then it's a road game for the Lakers or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? The NBA tried to not just deal with any of that, and they just tried to make it universal, which I kind of understand. For the tournament's
over, but the tournament's over now.
Also that.
So you're just gonna get. We're
not gonna rent space in Vegas for you to play some meaningless game.
Right. Flip a coin, and you just happen to get another away game. That's basically it. Because you're not in the tournament. The seeding don't matter. You lost, right? So you don't get a consolation for losing, especially if you're the Kings and you already lost at home.
Yeah. If I could do a little bit of coping, I will also say, and this is actually big coping, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
At least the Kings and the Kings fan base won't have to deal with being the first ones to decide, like, are you going to have to hang a banner for the in-season? Because there's going to, especially if, like, the hard. Pacers.
Yeah.
But it's more just like that was going to be a big sticking point here, I think. Like, it would have been a lot of little brothering of, oh, that's cute, you guys won the in-season tour. Oh, you guys going to throw a parade? Oh, you're going to hang a banner? Well, we only hang real banners around here. So I will say there's at least small silver lining.
Which was a specific issue only because of those dudes in the Bay.
Of course, yeah. And Lakers as well.
And the Lakers. If the Pacers win the whole thing, nobody is saying that's
probably
cute.
Not.
They're saying it's a great story. Yeah. Who else is left?
Upcoming team, yeah.
If LeBron wins, they can say LeBron added to his.
LeBron cares about winning everything.
Right, right. LeBron added to all of his different accolades and awards. If the Suns win, I think they might.
They'll probably just roast KD.
Right, they're probably just KD. This
first
is all you
ring
can do
without Steph.
Right, this is all you can do without Steph.
Right.
And so who else
the
plays
Bucks.
from the Eastern?
The Bucks and Knicks play tonight as well.
The Knicks.
Yeah, Knicks would be interesting because that would be a case in which. I mean, that's a big market, but that's also, much like the Kings, an organization that hasn't won in 24 years.
How is Stephen A. going to feel if the Knicks win the...
I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay?
And listen, and he had some things to say.
Ridiculous.
He had some things to say. He was on the train, as everybody now is on the train, but he does have a recording that I saw this morning from 2020 where... I believe the Knicks went out and in 20 they got Julius Randle.
Sure.
But they also was it Obi Toppin that year? Whatever it was.
Yeah, that
they
sounds
had
about
an opportunity, who is now on the Pacers.
Right.
But
doing pretty well.
But Stephen A said, go get Halliburton. And he didn't. They did.
Really?
He has in 2020. He has a video he posted today. So he wanted Halliburton. It's funny to say now. I mean, let's be honest.
Brother Halliburton from Iowa State.
He is a game breaker. Yeah. And here's the thing. It's easy to say this now, but that shot is weird as heck.
It's weird.
That is a bizarre shot.
It's super weird. It's like, it's almost like he shoots like an 8-year-old or something like that. Like your 8-year-old cousin who like is trying to shoot on the 10-foot rim, but obviously doesn't have enough strength to do it. And I do think some of it does stem from that. Like Tyrese was a pretty skinny kid growing up. And I do think that some of that is when you see guys have those like really like hitchy push shots, a lot of the time it is because those guys were, 8 years old running on the floor during halftime and shooting threes at their, cousin's basketball game or whatever. And it kind of, it doesn't ruin your shot, but it kind of does set the base and the form for your shot for the rest of your life.
Well, I know you didn't watch the Steph Curry documentary, but it's well documented that that's what Steph's shot looked like.
Yeah, right.
And maybe if Steph's dad was Del Curry, he could still look like that. I don't know. Chris is saying that, not me. I would never say something like that. So it's a rough night for Kings fans. Yeah. You hold the L, and again, not to overlook this, but our condolences do go out to that fan.
Yeah.
who passed away. That's just terrible, terrible news. Chris and I were there, and we, when you're sitting in the section, or even if you're just sitting as a fan, you don't see everything, right? You can only see your specific area. So we saw it come through on social media, and Chris showed me, and it was a really sad situation. So prayers go out to the family, and I'm the Kings did speak about it, and they said some really nice things. There's nothing good that you can say in this situation. So, when I was in there, Keegan Murray got asked a question, and he just said, I hope we take care of the family, and prayers go out. And that's really all you can say. It's just a tragedy.
Totally. Yeah. That's all you can say. And, it's extra sad because, we all say sports are meant to be an escape from reality. And then when reality, still chases you into sports in that arena and in that environment, it's never great news, but especially, when you're going someplace trying to have fun and have an escape, it was just terrible news. And you think about the family, all their friends, and just horrible news. And just thinking about everybody out there.
Yeah, definitely. And, we saw some tweets and posts about people that, saw more than what we saw. So even the people that kind of had to see that and how that affects them. So, definitely thinking good thoughts for everybody involved. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, the list of teams that bug the Kings is growing. Is that a problem?
Yes.
Kind of sounds like it is. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Imagine getting ahead of your irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C by treating it with Linzess. Then you could start proactively managing your constipation with belly pain and get ahead of your symptoms. Talk to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. We will be joined by Chris Beerman at 11 a.m. to talk Niners and Kings. As I see, I thought it was this is your normally you have your phone. I saw it light up. I thought it was Dave's phone again. I thought he was going to come barging in.
That's all me.
Okay, I thought he was going to come barging in, and Dave's probably listening. Hi, Dave.
Show.
You can come back in if you want, but yeah, surprisingly, it was not
just mine.
Dave. It was yours. As the list of teams that bug the Kings keep growing. So let's go through this list right now.
Yeah.
And it's easy to say long, athletic. Let's get to specifics.
Yeah,
so
do it.
Let's stick to the Western Conference, right? So clearly the Pelicans.
I think we can safely say, the Pelicans fit that bill.
Here's what's interesting.
No pun intended.
Because the Timberwolves should be on that list. The Kings have only played the Timberwolves once, and they beat them.
Yeah.
It was actually similar to how they started against the Pelicans last night, kind of rocking and rolling. It was on the road, but rocking and rolling, and they never gave the Timberwolves life. Timberwolves were chasing the whole time. That's what the Kings have to do with these long teams. Make them chase.
Yeah.
They have to get aggressive defensively, get them into foul trouble. The problem was this, and Chris was doing his post game. He's doing a great job as always. If you haven't seen Chris on his post game for Sactown Sports, be sure to check him out on YouTube after the games. So I got to be honest here. I was talking to somebody last night about just kind of being honest on this show about the gym situation.
Right.
And we had a nice little laugh about it. So I'm going to be honest again. And I was torn. And I find myself in these situations where I'm in the media room, and I would say other media members, our guys included, felt like we were trying to lead. And I don't want to misspeak. We can talk to Braden and Frankie during the roundtable tomorrow. Yes, right. Tomorrow. It felt like nobody wanted to necessarily say that Jose Alvarado destroyed the game for you. Yeah. Now, Mike Brown, and we have sound, Mike Brown did give him his flowers. But the players, and you talk about being an irritant, and we talk about first team all scrappy, the players didn't say anything. And we tried to lead him there, and it was all, De'Aaron Fox in particular was more of, hey, it's on me to just have a better handle. It was all on him. It wasn't about anybody else doing anything. Right. And we have the sound right here, and I'm going to tell you why I think that's a little bit interesting. Here it is from Mike Brown.
It's not a good combination in a situation like this. And like I said, you got to give their team from Willie Green on down a lot of credit for it, because they came in here and they took it. And, you are disappointed in it. But at the end of the day, watching that game, they earned it, so it's one of those things is when you get a butt whooping and that person that whipped your butt, you watch them do it, you see how they do it, nothing to do but give them credit for it.
That's all it is, right? Yeah. And I'm
actually surprised he said that after the game.
Well, he wasn't. It didn't
feel like
it was one of the most
like a traditional butt whooping.
Yeah,
like a traditional when a coach is going to come out and say like they just whooped our butts tonight. That's like a first New Orleans performance. Yeah. Exactly.
It's like a Niners Eagles.
Yeah, right. That's but you don't hear that in a 10-point loss.
Yeah. Well, I think they just got caught on their heels and couldn't get back. And going back to the kind of Jose Alvarado piece, what I found interesting is we know that there's so much closeness between the Warriors and the Kings, right? Mm-hmm. So you go into the media room and names are being dropped all over the place, right? It's Draymond and Steph, and I get it, it's familiarity. I get that. But I did think it was a little interesting that it was so apparently clear, right, that Jose Alvarado came in the game.
Yep.
Felt like he only had 2 steals in the first quarter. Felt like he had about 12.
Yeah.
Whapped a couple threes, right? 2 or 3 threes, right? And next thing you know, it went from up 20 to what?
By the end of the quarter, I think it was a 1-point game.
It was a 1-point game. So he is not, and he's clapping. You see him on the sideline. He is a variant of Patrick Beverley.
Yes,
I might probably take Jose Alvarado over Patrick Beverley. I know Patrick Beverley just dropped 26 last week or something like that, but every night in, night out is close. And I did think it was interesting that as much as the media members tried to lead De'Aaron there, he really just wanted to keep it about them. I'm not saying there's beef. I'm saying that he was annoyed.
Yes,
I think
that's what I was going to say.
I think that Jose Alvarado did his job, and he was annoyed, and De'Aaron didn't want to give that guy his flowers because it was apparent. I mean, De'Aaron had 6 turnovers?
Yeah, 6.
They weren't all because of Jose Alvarado.
After finishing with 1 on Saturday, by the way.
He was a game wrecker. Yeah. He wrecked the game.
He did.
Everybody got silent.
Their rhythm was destroyed.
Completely off. Chris is next to me saying, "Why can't this be Davion?" I'm saying, "Chris, I'm trying to watch the game and enjoy my time." And there was no coming back from it. And I to bring this all the way back around, being still a newer guy here, I didn't want to ask the question, but did I have the angel on my shoulder and the devil on one side saying, ask him straight up about Jose Alvarado? It passed my mind multiple times, and I said, look, if nobody else is going to do it, I'm not going to do it, because they definitely weren't thrilled.
Yeah.
De'Aaron was not, you lost, right? But when people do have that conversation about the in-season tournament and how much you care, it was very clear that they cared.
Yeah, they can say they didn't care all they want. It was clear De'Aaron Fox was not happy after that game. I listened to Deebo Samuel in the locker room after the game. He sounded really disappointed. Kevin Huerter sounded disappointed. It was clear that they really wanted to go to Vegas. Sabonis talked a lot about the stage in which that that tournament might be. You know, we don't know how many people are going to be tuning into that, but it would have been a really good opportunity to kind of, you know, I think a lot of people have seen the Kings-Warriors games and saw the Kings barely have to make a big comeback to squeeze one out against the Warriors. I think that people still don't view the Kings in that upper echelon tier of teams. I think they still view them like last year, like they're a fun story, but you know, when push comes to shove, they're not to the caliber, the tier of the Nuggets, the Lakers, the Suns, the Warriors, those kind of guys. And I think the team really wanted to use that opportunity to kind of make a statement. Totally. Exactly. And I think that's why Mike Brown kind of said it was a butt whooping yesterday, because that's a game where, yeah, you guys are talking like you guys wanted to go to this tournament so bad. Well, like you said, go play like it, because it sure didn't look like it. I mean, they showed good effort out there. They did a good job of slowing down Zion. That was probably number one on the scouting report, was don't let this guy get a left-handed layup, which, by the way, he did go under.
He did way under.
On our 8.5 or whatever it was, left-handed layups. And you still lost.
By 10.
Yeah, and you still really had a lot of similar issues that you had previously against New Orleans. It wasn't just a fluky, oh my gosh, Brandon Ingram. No, Brandon Ingram has had y'all's number, and you haven't been able to slow him down at all. You did do a good job of slowing down Zion, but again, it's not just one guy that makes the team. So yeah, it's very disappointing this team lost. I did also notice that they didn't mention Jose Alvarado once. I think that has a lot to do with just how he plays. Like, I don't think he's the quintessential, like, you hate him on everybody else, on somebody else's team, but you love him when he's on yours. And I think a lot of guys kind of view what he does as cheap. Like, he's that guy on the pickup. I mean, he's quite literally hanging out in the corner, trying to deceive you into getting a steal, making you think, oh, he's not behind you, and then just comes from behind you and steals the ball. That's not really like NBA basketball, you know, like that's super street ball. That's super annoying. No, I just mean like in the sense of these guys probably aren't ever going to say, that the smallest guy on the floor really, you know, swung this game.
And that's why he plays like that.
Never going to say.
And that's why he plays like that on the day where Grand Theft Auto, the trailer for 6 came out.
So good, by
Grand
the way.
Theft Alvarado multiple times. And what's crazy is, so I didn't even see where he was necessarily hanging out. We got to get to a break. I didn't even necessarily see where he was hanging out, right? But when he's coming around, right, when he stole it the first time from De'Aaron, that was in front of the Kings bench, and you can hear the whole arena.
You can hear the entire crowd.
The whole crowd saying, hey, Wolf, he's coming. He's coming, right?
It's like watching a scary movie, and everybody sees the murderer behind him.
And I know it doesn't just happen to the Kings, but how is that not in your scouting report?
It's got to be.
How is that not in your scouting report?
And I saw later in the game, he tried to do it again, and Kevin Huerter and Malik Monk
on the other side.
On the other side, like the following half. So, I mean, again, that's kind of also something that's attention to detail. You got to know your personnel that's out on the floor.
But again, if you're going to get 2 points off that, fine. Right? Sure. You should still win that game. The whole thing just started to snowball. We got to get to a break. When we get back, Kevin Huerter talks about why the Pelicans are a tough matchup for Sac. And do I care about a tough matchup? Is that a legit excuse, a quote-unquote tough matchup? That just sounds like they're better than us. That's what it sounds like. Got to get to a break. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee-owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. We will not be taking you to Vegas. We will not be going to Vegas. We were talking with some of our insiders for Roundtable, Frankie and Brandon. Which one of you is going to get to go to Vegas? I was looking ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought the stars would have aligned for the Kings. You get to get over the hump of the Pelicans and go to Vegas, something that you've been one of the more open teams about wanting to do that. And just, you got Jose'd, you got Grand Theft Alvarado'd. And then on top of that, you had the skirmish, right? There's a lot of skirmishes going on these days.
Yeah, that's probably the right word for what that was, right? Yeah.
Right. Because I don't even know what I saw. Trey Lyles kind of shove Valanciunas, but I didn't see what happened prior to that.
It was just like their arms got locked up, and it was just normal big man stuff, like nothing out of.
Oh, I know it well. I know it well. Right. Sometimes you
gotta tell you about how things go down in the
trees.
Okay.
When you down there with the trees, you got to let them know what it is. Yeah, I know it. I know it well.
Yeah. So I would got to tell you about it,
yeah,
but
exactly.
It was just some typical big man arm wrestling and stuff like that, and then. I looked at the replay. Shout out Brendan, who's always super quick on getting that stuff on socials, but I didn't see anything out of the normal. Just kind of seemed like, honestly, I do think Trey in that moment was just kind of like, I feel momentum slipping a little, let's kind of get some fuel to this fire here.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like when coaches get texts or try and get ejected to try and get their team emotional or understand, hey, need y'all to focus up a little bit more. And I think Trey kind of took that time to say, team's kind of playing a little soft right now, and I think we could use a little bit of fire. And Trey's been that guy. Like, Trey is the guy on this team. You would think Malik is, a guy who's got tons of swagger and definitely isn't ever shy about, screaming after a big dunk. You would think he would probably be the one to get under the other team's skin, but every single time with this team, it's been Trey Lyles that's at the forefront of getting into these, back and forths.
Yeah, and
which is dog-like behavior.
That's right.
We talked yesterday about how being a dog of the day
does not have to be.
It's not about the stat sheet. It's not about the box score.
No, and that
not always.
Look, that's something that the Kings had been missing, and I want to get into the play that they challenged with De'Aaron Fox and Alvarado when De'Aaron was bleeding, but the foul was on De'Aaron, and it looked like there was a flop involved. What's funny to me, because Mike Brown hasn't typically gotten tossed, right? And I was complaining during the Warriors game when they were getting blitzed, just saying,
do something.
Man, you don't have to get tossed, but do something. What's funny to me, and I don't know if I've never really paid attention. I don't think you get to see it on TV as well. Maybe I'm wrong. I think I just pay more attention when I'm in there, is when it's time for a challenge, how Mike Brown goes, those refs, the couple refs in the NBA that, hey, when I talk, it's about me.
Yes.
Mike Brown walks basically to the middle of the free throw line, and he puts his hand up like it's a challenge. And then it's like an event.
Yes.
And then
he's
the
like,
whole
I'm gonna stop the whole game.
And the whole crowd's like, and everyone's like, challenge it. And then the challenge, and then it was unsuccessful.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was.
What do you think they saw? I watched that replay in slow-mo at least 7 times, and I don't know what happened.
So the foul, the reason why it wasn't overturned was because the actual foul itself was De'Aaron trying to set the screen. Instead of setting a screen, they teach you put your hands at your side or whatever.
Yeah, just cover the situation.
Yeah, cover your situation. Well, De'Aaron put 2 hands on him, so like he kind of just cupped his back.
But that's why
that's a foul.
you. But
anytime you have 2 hands on anybody, they're gonna blow.
But that's why I asked you if the flop where that would have fit in.
So that would have been after the call, because so there actually wasn't a flop either. There was Jose Alvarado ran the back of his head into De'Aaron's lip, which is why De'Aaron's lip was bleeding. And I mean, I shouldn't say there wasn't a flop. Jose definitely embellished the contact. There was contact, but I think in order to get the call, he had to embellish the act of falling to the ground. But there was legitimate contact. There was a legitimate foul. It just, the order in which it happened could have been more favorable. Like if De'Aaron doesn't put his two hands on the back of Jose Alvarado and Jose just runs into his lip, there's either not a foul or it turns into a foul on Jose Alvarado. But since De'Aaron made the contact first and foremost, everything else kind of doesn't matter.
Right. 916-339-1140. Let's get out to Casey, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Casey? You're on Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Great.
Well, not so great after the game last night for me, but my problem with the Kings right now is that we don't have an athletic wing to match up against the Pelicans. And to me, that's the biggest problem. When we say it's a tough matchup, they have about 5 wings who are long and athletic, and we have zero depth coming off the bench at the wing position. We have Harrison Barnes and Keegan, who are our only 2 wings, but they're not overly athletic, and they're not overly long. I mean, just look at that play that Herb Jones made on that free throw rebound. He threw it up. We don't have a player that can make that play. Like we have no depth at that position, and to me, that should have been a bigger goal in the offseason. Instead, they focused so much on getting bigs that they didn't sign any wing players, and we have nobody to match up when they play. They've got Herb Jones, they've got Najee Marshall, they've got Trey Murphy, they've got Brandon Ingram. That's 4 guys that we don't have a single guy who can really guard those guys. And not to mention that, Sabonis had a good game last night, but not to mention that he usually struggles against bigs like Valanciunas and Williamson. It is honestly a terrible matchup for us with our personnel.
No, I think that's a great call, Casey. And, the question is, there are certain teams where they're just older, right? And they don't have the athleticism, and that makes things tough for them to compete, right? The Kings aren't old. The Kings just have bodies that aren't terribly athletic. And in a wing-driven league, do we talk enough about how the Kings are trying to win an athletic game, an athletic league without elite athletes, right? I don't think we talk enough about the fact that look at the Kings starting lineup, right? I'm not trying to pile on here, but look at the Kings starting lineup compared to other starting lineups in the league and who's coming off the bench. You have Kevin Huerter, Sabonis, Harrison Barnes, and Keegan. 4 of those guys, where would you rank them in terms of athleticism?
In terms of in comparison to
in terms of the league, when you think of how athletic the NBA is, as a whole, I'm putting Kevin Huerter average at best.
Can you list them one more time?
I'm talking about it's the whole starters, everyone except for De'Aaron. So Sabonis, I would put, he's weirdly athletic, right? I would put maybe slightly above average and he's worked his way to that. Kevin Huerter, I'm putting average. Harrison Barnes, I guess I'll put average. I don't really want to.
You can get a foul when you need it.
And Keegan is young, but Keegan is not really athletic.
Yeah, I think the reason why they don't lean towards athleticism is because they're so focused on shooting. And, a lot of the time it is kind of either or. Like, you don't get Derek Jones Jr., who also shoots 40% from 3. So, it's kind of
you need some of these guys, though.
No, for sure. And I think stylistically, that's been my problem with how Monty has built out this roster is kind of like the call TC said, or who was
Casey?
Casey, I'm sorry. Casey said there, this team has the 6'8". I call them the 6'8" because there's a reason. There's only 2 of them. It's HB and Keegan, and there's not enough wing players on this team. I don't know if necessarily athleticism is the exact problem, because I don't necessarily think you have to be a crazy athlete if you have the physical profile to kind of counterbalance that. Like if you have a 7-foot wingspan, you might not need to be as laterally quick because you can kind of cover the same amount of space with your arms. So I think the Kings need to do, if they truly want to commit to the defensive end of the floor, they need to pick, to your point, one of athleticism or length, and they have neither. Yes. And so that's why, if you want to find the reason why the Kings aren't good at defense, it's because they haven't chosen either of those things. The team is built, really, especially that starting lineup, with offense in mind, and that offense is great. But now that you see the Kings are trying to, the only way they were going to win a game like last night was with defense. They weren't going to win 140 to 127 against that Pelicans team. So if you want to eventually start stopping people, you're going to need a lot more of those Harrison Barnes, the Keegan Murray. You're going to need, Jaden McDaniels is a guy that is just so key for that Timberwolves team, which they didn't have him in the game which the Kings played them, which I think was a huge reason why the Kings were able to handle the Timberwolves so easily. So, yeah, I think the biggest need for this team moving forward, and I think if this team does eventually go big fish hunting, it's going to be for a really long, big wing. That's why a guy like OG Anunoby has been brought up so much when it comes to the guy that Kings fans or who knows, we actually have now we've heard in the past, Monty McNair has interest in OG Anunoby. The reason is because that is one of those 6'9", 6'8" guys who's got a really strong frame that you can throw on Trey Murphy's, on Brandon Ingram's, on Zion Williamson's. Because like the caller said, they just don't have any of them. They have Keegan and they have Harrison. And those are really the most athletic guys with body. Like Trey Lyles, yes, he's similar size, but lateral speed, quickness, not quite there. Sasha, not quite there. And besides that, the Kings really, they have Kessler Edwards, who is somebody that I'm surprised they didn't throw out last night. That's usually, at least last year, the guy that they threw out on those kind of wing players. So, yeah, I definitely agree. I think if this Kings team wants to get better, if they want to take the next leap, to me, you got to add, I think, at least 2 more wing forward kind of guys that can help you against these kind of teams that are your kryptonite. Because it isn't just the Pelicans, like you said. Like it's the Timberwolves, and I wouldn't even say the Warriors provide a lot of length, but for whatever reason, the Andrew Wiggins, Kuminga, and like those kind of guys really are going to give the Kings problems. So yeah, they have to be better at addressing those problems, because right now they just don't have any answer. Yeah, the Clippers are the biggest one, honestly. Yeah, because they got Harden, who you could argue you need a bigger guy. Paul George, Kawhi, obviously. Kevin Durant. Every team in your division pretty much has somebody that you're going to need. And you can't a big wing to throw on, and you can't just trap them because. And I got something to say about the trapping because I'm so tired. We got to get to before we get to a break, let's hear from Kevin Huerter and what he had to say about why it's a tough matchup.
You're kind of a combination. They're well put together. They have a lot of size up front. They get Murphy back. He's a good shooter, and they're a team that scores in the paint. Ingram is a player that kind of gets any shot and can hit a lot of tough shots overhand. Between Zion and Ingram, and then the complementary pieces they have, a lot of their guys play defense. So really complete team when they're all healthy.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, we'll react to that. This whole bad matchup thing. Come on now. What are we doing? And I want to get Chris's thoughts on the trapping, because this is not CYO. This is not AAU. Enough with the trapping. Stop falling down. So you got to trap at the end, and it's not going to work more times than not, because surprise, surprise, players in the NBA know how to dribble. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's that time of year again. Sactown Sports is welcoming Santa back to town for the 40th annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 9th in downtown Sacramento. Grab the family and join us as we celebrate Santa's arrival with marching bands, superheroes, cheer squads, and more. Parade starts at 10 a.m. at 14th and N. We'll see you Saturday, December 9th in downtown for the Santa Parade with Western Health Advantage, Huff Home Services, and the California National Guard. Get more information at SactownSports.com.
Gas, groceries, utilities, you name it, the price of everything is going up. And if you're stuck in a bad timeshare with rising maintenance fees, the financial burden can be crushing. It is time to get your finances in order and get the real facts about that timeshare that you are stuck in and your options to get rid of it. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has been helping families out of horrible timeshares for over 10 years and has put together a complete timeshare exit information kit that he will send you absolutely free. To date, over 30,000 families have trusted Wesley Financial Group to help them out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. Get the facts about how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation. Simply call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit and see how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. Once again, 800-462-3333.
Players know it's not just because you win more. It's because of everything else at Gold Country Casino Resort, where players roll in and winners are made. Winning isn't the only thing on the menu, and nightlife, it's more than entertaining. Drinks and dining options are abundant and guaranteed to satisfy your innermost desires. Come be our guest and see why Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville is where the players play.
This holiday season, Good Guys Heating and Cooling is turning up the warmth and spreading joy with our Toys for Tune-Ups promotion. Schedule your tune-up or troubleshooting appointment, and with a donation of a new unwrapped toy at the time of your service, we'll waive the fee. It's our way of giving back and making a difference in the lives of local children who might not have the Christmas that every child deserves. All toys will benefit Children's Hope, a wonderful local foster charity right here in Sacramento. Call Good Guys Heating and Cooling at 530-GOOD-AIR to schedule your appointment, or book online at goodguysheatingcooling.com. Happy holidays from the Good Guys family. License number 1057-618.
It's Credit Christmas at Prestigio Jewelers. Get the gifts you want this year. Prestigio guarantees your credit up to $10,000. It's easy. Have a valid ID, proof of income, and be 18 or older. Prestigio has competitive pricing on all jewelry such as gold chains, wedding sets, diamond earrings, and designer brands like Cartier, Gucci, Bulova, and Citizen. Rebuild your credit, even with a repo or a bankruptcy, at Prestigio Jewelers. This Christmas, come for the credit and be amazed by the selection at Prestigio Jewelers. Online at prestigiojewelers.com.
Truckmart knows truck and SUV owners love gifts for their vehicles. Whether it's a work truck or a daily driver, Truckmart can help you make them happy this holiday season. Truck steps, trailer hitches, toolboxes, suspension products, off-road gear, and more. Truckmart stocks the right products that fit and last for years. Need help with an install? Trained techs are on hand to get it done right. For 35 years, Truckmart has been the source for great products and service. Visit Truckmart today in Rockland or Auburn. Truckmart, your truck's gonna love them.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
A couple of weeks ago, I had the honor to enjoy a conversation with PGA Tour player and U.S. Open winner Jim Furyk, who's also the first to shoot 58 in a PGA Tour event. We talked about junior golf, his experiences on tour, and plans for the future. He also revealed his commitment to a new golf shoe manufactured by Box Toe Golf. I took notice because when a person makes his living playing golf, he looks for advantages in preparation, equipment, and certainly his shoes, which are the only contact with the ground. Box Toe is a premium brand specializing in handcrafted leather golf shoes designed for players who demand quality, style, and performance. With full-grain leather upper and soft leather linings, the shoes offer unmatched comfort. They're a perfect blend of classic style and modern design. If Box Toe Legacy golf shoes and belts are good enough for Jim Furyk, they're good enough for me. Learn more at boxtoegolf.com. That's your golf to go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m., breaking down all things Kings. Also going to get to a little bit of Shohei Ohtani news. It is now being reported that the Cubs are out of the Shohei Ohtani race, it seems. Here we go. This is from Bob Nightingale. The Chicago Cubs' optimism of landing Shohei Ohtani has now significantly waned. One high-ranking executive said, leaving the Dodgers, the Blue Jays, the Angels, and the Giants as the likely finalists.
Oh, no. Wait, but I don't know how to feel because they named the Giants, but at least they named them last. That's got to be a positive sign, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Don't get your hopes up. And we know this.
Under the radar.
Yeah, and we know this from a lot of the conversations we've had. Originally, the Blue Jays thing is interesting because originally Shohei was really big on the West Coast because of his proximity to Asia and being able to get back and forth.
Right.
So he likes the weather. So that's why, obviously, that's why he went to the Angels in the first place, right? And he thought he was going to be balling with Mike Trout. They played, but they just didn't ball together. They balled, but they didn't ball together. Mike Trout, Chris also saw a report Mike Trout will not be dealt. So that was one I was interested in. Maybe you get you get a little bit of discount or something like that. He's been injured.
What is the Blue Jays' interest with what is the Shohei interest in the
That's
Blue
what I'm
Jays?
trying to figure out.
That to me feels like just a complaint. It's not a legacy team or anything. It's also in Canada. It's not like, they've got a good collection of young talent, but I wouldn't say, that's a team that's always in contention or anything like that. It's just seems like a pretty random name to be thrown in there and at this late in the state. I mean, not that the name just got thrown in, but it seems like a random name to still be in there at this point in the process.
Well, if it wasn't for the Giants being in the West Coast, you would be asking the same question about the Giants.
Sure.
I mean, the Blue Jays have been more competitive than the Giants.
Absolutely.
Right. And you get to play
younger
against.
core too. I mean,
So I had a theory. And I don't know, I just kind of made this up. But I always will remember Shohei in the World Baseball Classic. And he's sitting there doing his speech.
This previous one?
Yeah, he's doing his speech. And, you don't even, you're reading the subtitles, but you're still just seeing the passion.
Yeah.
And you could see how it's been killing Shohei to not be
winning,
right? Now, the way he talked about him, he said something that I'll never forget. He said, hey, we want to respect them, but we don't want to fear them, when he was talking about playing Team USA. And maybe I'm reaching because I'm a Giants fan, but the reason that I thought it gave me a little bit of hope for Shohei to go to the Giants is similar to what you mentioned yesterday about, hey, do you just want to be another star on the Dodgers, or do you want to be the guy? Things are different with Shohei. You need a 6-man rotation for pitching. You need a lot of different things that are specific to Shohei. Do the Dodgers want to do that when they are a well-oiled machine that blows it in the playoffs? But they're a well-oiled machine. So when I saw that, I said, you know what? Does Shohei have that dog in him? See what I did there? To not want to join the perennial,
the
front-running Dodgers and join a team where they are on their way up, right? And that, at the time, in the summer, that felt like the Giants and still could be the Giants. I say all this to say, looking at the AL East, you could say the same thing about the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays, they have their guys. They got Vlad Jr., you got Bo Bichette. You got a couple different guys. So maybe he could be the missing piece. And who do you get to face in that division? At the NL West, you get to face the Dodgers, right? And the Diamondbacks just went to the World Series. Who do you get to face if you play in the AL East? The Red Sox, the Yankees, and kind of take
all those
down
marquee matchups.
Exactly, the evil empire of those teams. So I just created that universe in my mind. I don't know if it's true. There might be a reason that makes much more sense for the Blue Jays. I can more so only speak to the Giants, but hopefully we get some good news here during a week where the Kings really didn't do us any favors because they lost, and now they don't play again until Friday. So maybe we will be celebrating Shohei before the Kings even step foot on a basketball court again.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I get most of my baseball talk in with our guy Frankie Cardicelli. Get a lot of my information from him as well. From what I understand, the winter meetings have been pretty quiet, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and
yeah,
it's
not much has
essentially because
happened.
everyone's waiting for the Shohei news to drop. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised more hasn't kind of come out since, the Braves made a deal for Mariners outfielder and a couple different things like that. But yeah, nothing big. I think everybody's waiting for Shohei, and then you'll see the Cody Bellingers go and things like that. And Yamamoto, I mean, Giants have been connected to Yamamoto, the Japanese pitcher. So we're waiting to see a lot of things there. It would be great for the Giants to get Shohei, but I don't think anybody's getting their hopes up.
No, I don't think so. It feels like one of those things that, there's no use of getting your hopes up until everything is officially signed, sealed, delivered. You see a picture
And
of
a physical.
Shohei holding up a thumb.
A physical.
And now we've learned a physical also needs to be not even if I'm not mistaken, there was even a press release sent out when Carlos Correa was signed.
They were there for the press conference.
There is a press conference on
the
this day.
family
I think
was
it tomorrow.
there.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, with this Giant situation, you can never say it's over until it's officially the guy is holding up a Giants jersey.
Yeah, no, in it on the field.
On the field.
I would say on the field. So yeah, I thought these things will continue to come up, and we will continue to break them down as we get back to the Kings and the idea of a bad matchup. Kind of sounds like a cop out to me. That again, we talk a lot on the show about reasons versus excuses. And I think there's some reasons I can't sit here in one segment and say, well, look, the Kings lack athleticism.
Right.
Then in the next segment say no bad matchups, it's a cop out. But the Kings were still favored, right, by 3.5. And the Kings were at home, and the Kings, you don't have to be athletic. If the game was about athleticism, it was fully about athleticism, it would be a lot different. I think they're missing
Russell Westbrook
some pieces.
would be an 8-time champion.
Exactly. I think the team is obviously missing some pieces, but it's too much of a cop-out for me to say that's just a bad matchup, right? So then what happens? Either they're a bad matchup and the Pelicans just aren't very good, or they're a bad matchup and the Pelicans are very good, and you probably have to face them again. I don't know which is worse.
Yeah, between those two, I would say that the second. I think when healthy, which is also a massive part of this, when Zion, Brandon Ingram, and now you see CJ as well, and Trey Murphy, when they are healthy, that's a really, really good team. Like it feels like a top 4 at least team in the Western Conference, but it's also a bad matchup for the Kings for the reasons we laid out last segment, where it's just, it's not like you can't beat them. Like you said, like they were favored in the game. They're at home. They even figured out how to hold Zion to 10 points. Like that's a winnable game that you can have. But since that team is so good, is so deep, that's why it's so important to not just stop Zion, but you also have to slow down BI, and you can't let Herb Jones get 23.
Herb Jones, my goodness.
That's where they lose the game.
Herb Jones.
They did some elements of last night that were good enough to win, but they didn't do enough of everything to win, which is what Mike Brown has kind of been trying to preach to this team for pretty much a full year now. I mean, really from the second half of last year up to this point, he's been telling them, look, it's been fun to play offense. We look great. Everybody talks about us. But the only way we're going to beat good teams in this league consistently is by actually playing defense and by slowing these guys down and not letting them get what they want. Last night, if Zion Williamson isn't going to score, if Zion's going to score 10 points, what do you think New Orleans probably wants then from the rest of their guys?
To step up.
They probably want Brandon Ingram to score 30 in that game. They probably want CJ to, give 15, 17 plus. They probably want Jose to have a little bit of impact. And they probably want a third guy, whether it be Jonas Valanciunas or Herb Jones or Trey Murphy, any of them. They probably want some contributions from those guys. And I think they got quite literally all of those other things. And so, yeah, like I said it yesterday and I've been saying it, and it sounds really dumb to say when coming out of my mouth, but I heard Mike Brown say it yesterday, so I'm not going to feel bad about saying it again. You got to stop everybody. You can't just stop one guy. You can't just stop the main guys. You got to stop Herb Joneses of the world, the Skylar Mazes of the world from having nights like they've had against the Kings. That's how you beat those teams.
Herbert Jones gave you buckets. In your house to go to Vegas.
Herb. A man named Herb.
I didn't even know we were still making Herbs.
Come on.
Herb Jones.
Herb Jones should be somebody's great. I think that's No, it's not. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that's my great-grandfather's name. I'm pretty sure that's his middle name.
We all have a great-great-grandfather named Herbert.
You have to. There's
Really?
nobody born in the 2000s named Herb. You're kidding me.
And here's the thing.
Come on.
Herb is really their defensive guy, their athletic defensive wing. So when Herb, you're going to give us buckets now, Herb? 23 points? That's a problem.
That's a problem.
It's still a distribution of points.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter that you held Zion Williamson to 10 if you're going to let Herbert Jones cook you. Cook you. Flavortown.
That's the way of putting it. Yeah.
That's what Golden One was last night for Herbert Jones. It was Flavortown. It was Flavortown.
Flavortown, USA.
Flavortown,
Come
USA.
on.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, Chris Beerman from the Candlestick Chronicles in the Sacramento Bee. We will talk to him about the Kings and Niners. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Hold on to your Santa hats because Elk Grove Kia is turning up the holiday heat with deals that'll leave you saying no money down. This Christmas, keep your wallet at home because Elk Grove Kia is making your dreams come true with 0 down payment. That's right, absolutely nothing out of your pocket to drive home in a brand new Kia today. Or if you're ready to slay the season in style, picture this: the award-winning 2024 Kia Telluride S all-wheel drive, the hottest sled in town, for just $439 per month plus tax. You heard it right, only $439. So whether it's the sleek 2024 Kia Telluride or the no money down offer, Elk Grove Kia says 0 hassles and 0 worries. ElkGroveKia.com. Qualified applicant, 0 down. Sample stock number GK913348 monthly, 0 down. Model number C3422. Right, 24 monthlies, 439 plus tax, 495. Dual signing, security, plus residual, 33,352. And take your GK91 expired.
Elk Grove Kia.
Yep, 'tis the season. Hi, if you're like me, you take pride in your gift giving. Well, I've got a terrific idea for you. Gift cards from the Good Feet store. Okay, so arch supports aren't exactly what they've been hinting for, but you know they'd love them. And with the Good Feet lifetime warranty, it's a gift they'll enjoy forever. Buy a Good Feet gift card now, and Good Feet will boost its value 20%. That's a 20% gift free from the Good Feet store. If you have someone on your list who's on their feet all day, has sore feet, knee, hip, or back pain, or even plantar fasciitis, maybe needs an energy boost, or just wants to maintain their active lifestyle, a Good Feet Arch Support gift card could be the perfect gift.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
Who has the largest selection of golf merchandise in Northern California? The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. It's the go-to store for golf bags, apparel, equipment, lessons, club fittings, novelty items, and more. With their low price guarantee, complimentary gift boxes, and gift cards for your golfer, it's the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Add convenient online shopping and effortless after-Christmas return policy, and you'll see why the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
At American Energy, their #1 priority is making sure you and your family are comfortable in your home for the holidays. And that's why they're giving away a free whole home HVAC system to one lucky family in the greater Sacramento area. Now, if you or you know a family in need of being comfortable this winter, enter for your chance to win the American Energy Comfort Giveaway by going to the AEway.com today. You could win a free whole home HVAC system. American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. For official contest rules, go to the AEway.com.
Amazon will be delivering packages to your house. Let Amazon deliver customers to your business. If that sounds good and you want more in 2024, simply text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. WTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. As we break down all things Kings versus Pelicans, we will get into some Niners, and we will definitely get into some Niners here with our guy who joins us as he does every week. And again, all guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Chris Beerman of the Sacramento Bee and Candlestick Chronicles. Chris, how are you doing on this Tuesday?
I'm outstanding. How are you guys?
We're good. We're good. I don't know about outstanding, but we're trying to get there. What do you think about the game last night with the Kings and Pelicans? And when you hear quote unquote bad matchup, are you buying it, or do you think it is a little bit of a cop out?
Well, I guess that depends on how you view that term. I was in New Orleans for the Kings 2 games against the Pelicans a few weeks ago, and it was very clear that they just don't have the bodies for Zion Williamson and or Brandon Ingram. So if you wanted to zoom out and make this a big picture sort of statement about the Kings roster, I think it's a pretty compelling case that that you could probably afford to find some bigger wing defenders. And I don't know, frankly, how the Kings do that, right? They're sort of limited in the assets that they have that might allow them or that might put them in play for somebody like OG Anunoby or Pascal Siakam if they want to make a move like that at the trade deadline. Yeah, they have a lot of picks, but I don't envision them ever trading Keegan Murray. And then that makes you question, like, would they ever include Demontis Sabonis in a deal like that? I don't know. So it's, I think the Kings, their biggest impediment to winning a championship right now is that defense. It's not a new thought, but you're going to be going against big wing offensive players in the playoffs. And if you are trying to win a championship, like is the Kings' stated goal, right? You just need to get better in that area. And they're not getting enough from Harrison Barnes in that regard. Keegan Murray, obviously a second-year player who's shown plenty of promise offensively, is still cutting his teeth a little bit on the defensive end. And I credit the Kings for giving him those tough defensive assignments, but he's just not a defensive stopper yet. So can the Kings improve defensively with the trade? That remains to be seen. Can they improve with what they already have? I think they're hoping that they can, but I would question if they can get to that level with the guys they already have. And I think these last few games against the Pelicans would certainly prove that point.
Chris, yeah, you mentioned you were on that road trip where, yeah, I think they had two different in-season tournament games during that stint. The vibe from last night after the game was pretty down. It did seem like those guys did kind of take that loss a little bit harder than I think you would take a traditional regular season loss. But the funny thing is it does seem like in the lead up to the games, at least they were playing it a little bit coy in terms of how much they felt like they cared about the tournament. Did you get any sort of vibe for how much this team, how much importance they put or value they put into this tournament on that road trip?
I think the Kings organization as a whole is just really looking for any recognition they can get, right?
Sure.
Like I think that's been a thing for the Kings organization over the last few years, and like having Mike Brown be a unanimous coach of the year was huge for them. Having Keegan Murray be an all-rookie team members is huge for them. Having Demontis Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox get recognized as all-stars, but probably more importantly, all-NBA players is huge for the Kings. So I think organizationally, I think the players in the locker room, I think the coaches, they all really wanted to do well in the in-season tournament to get some of that national recognition that comes with winning games. But ultimately, in my opinion, like they're going to get national recognition from playing winning basketball in the playoffs. Like, you win playoff rounds, you're going to get on national televised games. You're going to get the respect that the team and the organization so badly covets. So yeah, I think the in-season tournament was big for them, and they have a few guys who have made a very good amount of money in the league, or are set to make a very good amount of money in the league, and the $500,000 probably wasn't going to be life-changing for them, but the people like Colby Jones, or guys at the end of the roster could certainly would certainly love to win $500,000 in the in-season tournament. So there's an element of that where you have veterans wanting to do right by the young guys and say, hey, let's put some life-changing money in your bank account and see, so that, I think that was important for them, and the competitive aspect. I do think, for one thing, the in-season tournament does is it provides teams that aren't often in that national spotlight, in that championship conversation. It offers them an opportunity to stand out a little bit, and I think that's what the Kings were hoping to get from that in-season tournament experience.
Talking to Chris Beerman of the Sacramento Bee and the Candlestick Chronicles. Chris, switching it over to the Niners. And Chris, I mean, you know how it is when you're coming up with content. The Niners do something like this, and it's really reminiscent of the beginning of the season where, okay, I guess they're just the best team in the NFL, and that's what it feels like right now. What were your thoughts on the butt kicking of the Philadelphia Eagles, and what's next for the Niners? I don't even know. We were talking about a letdown game. I think they could have, if they get, it's really the Ravens, and that's it. Not to disrespect any other teams, but what did you think about what you saw from the Eagles, and what's next for the Niners?
Yeah, I thought the 49ers would win that game going in. I didn't think it would be that lopsided. I thought the 49ers just emotionally had a lot more sort of to prove in that game, and the Eagles, given the gauntlet of their recent schedule and the fact that, their defense played 92 snaps a week prior in that overtime game against Buffalo, I just thought it was the right spot for the 49ers to go in and make a statement. But I wasn't envisioning that type of statement. Right. That was a completely dominant performance. And you look at the landscape of the league right now, as the season's gone on, it's felt like that there are fewer teams probably capable of winning the Super Bowl than maybe we thought early on in the year. Like, it feels like it's the Niners, it's Philly, it's Kansas City, and maybe it's Baltimore, right? Like, I don't know. Do you feel good enough about Dallas and what Dak Prescott has done against, a lot of bad teams to think that they're in that Super Bowl mix, particularly considering what the Niners did to them earlier in the season, right? So it just feels like that group of elite teams is shrinking, and the 49ers are sort of differentiating themselves from all the other teams that would be in that mix, like the Jaguars. I know Trevor Lawrence is hurt, but the Jaguars are a top seed in the AFC. The 49ers went there and throttled them, right? The 49ers went and throttled the Eagles on the road. They went and throttled the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road. They're just rolling through these teams, and they're so balanced and so efficient and just complete on both sides of the ball that, it makes you feel like, unless a catastrophic injury happens, knock on wood, that this should be clearly at this point the best team in the NFL. And as we get further removed from that 3-game losing streak, you can, maybe look to some extenuating circumstances, not to use them as an excuse, but, when you don't have Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel in those games, and you have a short week coming back home to play the Cincinnati Bengals, who were coming off their bye week, like, there might be some extenuating circumstances in that blowout loss that you had, right? So I just think that the Niners are differentiating themselves from the rest of the NFL, and I think they're pretty clearly cut now as the number one team in the league, as long as they can stay healthy.
Chris, I was listening yesterday to the Candlestick Chronicles podcast, and absolutely fantastic pod. And I heard you say something that I need you to reiterate to our audience. I heard you say that you called this the Deebo Samuel legacy game. Can you just explain to our audience why you felt that way, and why you feel like Sunday was just the statement Deebo game for his career?
Yeah, I mean, there was so much talk, right? Like Deebo Samuel, I think Deebo Samuel is somebody who's not going to spout off unless he really believes it, right? Like he went on Radio Row at the Super Bowl last year after the 49ers were eliminated, and basically said anybody to anybody who asked him that the 49ers would have rolled the Eagles had Brock Purdy been healthy in that game. And, that's a bold statement, but I think Deebo isn't going to say something like that publicly unless he really believes it. So I was really interested to see, how he was going to play in this game and the lead up to it. And he certainly didn't back down from anything he said before the game, talking to reporters, say, I have no regrets about anything I said. And then to go into that game, score 3 touchdowns, and just be the dominant force that we know he could be, but just to have that game in that spot is going to be the most memorable game of, Deebo Samuel's regular season career for sure. And he's obviously had some moments in the playoffs, thinking back to 2021, and even when he carried the 49ers during the regular season that year too. It reminded that game reminded me of the Saints in 2019, the Saints game when George Kittle had the 4th and 2 reception that set up the game-winning field goal, and how that game or that play sort of was a signature moment of the season. And when the 49ers made their Super Bowl run, you sort of think about that play in the regular season. To me, if the 49ers make a Super Bowl run this year, we're going to think about, Deebo Samuel, particularly if they get the number 1 seed, right? That's the other thing coming out of that game. They now have a realistic chance at the number 1 seed. If they can win out and the Eagles lose one, the Niners can snag that. And so if they do, I will think about Deebo Samuel's performance in that Philadelphia game, particularly given all the extenuating circumstances, all the talk, all the chatter. It's just one of those games that, sort of makes a career. And Deebo Samuel is somebody who's super unique and super talented. And Kyle Shanahan said he's probably the best guy in the league when it comes to just having the ball in his hands. And I think, Sunday was just an example, and he's super important, not only from a production standpoint, but just from a mentality standpoint. And he just embodies that toughness that he has and the versatility that he has, just sort of embodies his 49ers team. And I think it makes him one of the most important players they have on their roster.
Chris Beerman, Sacramento Bee, Candlestick Chronicles. Chris, thank you as always. And we will talk to you again next week, my friend. Good stuff. And hopefully when we're talking next week, we can talk about some Kings W's as well as another Niner W.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you guys soon. Happy holidays.
Same to you. Same to you. All righty. Thank you to Chris Beerman, Sacramento Bee, and Candlestick Chronicles. Got to get to a break. When we get back, yeah, there's a guy in that starting lineup for the Kings, and we took it easy on him. We gave him over an hour without calling him out. That ends when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports. Taking you up to 2 p.m. Thank you again to Chris Beerman of the Candlestick Chronicles and Sacramento Bee as Nate is doing calisthenics behind the glass. What's going on, Nate?
I was like, yeah, he's
getting it going.
I dropped I'm eating this carrot back here. Dropped it on the ground, kind of popped up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got a little hype up.
he's
There you
not
go.
working out.
I'm not working out now.
Gotta stay active. I got my new physical therapist out here.
Oh, nice.
In Natomas, so I have I'm working through it. I have my new list of stretches to go through. She said we're around 6 weeks away from hopefully running again.
Is there any conflicting ideals between your two PT people?
No.
Okay.
She was really happy with what I was doing in the Bay Area. I showed her all the workouts that I've been doing, so she just added on to it. So we're gonna phase that. We'll do that for 6 more weeks. Start to phase that out and start to implement the next phase of the plan. So I should be running here again in about 6 weeks.
I got a quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I usually run on the treadmill. I went for a traditional run, actually around here on Saturday.
Okay.
And my legs were like sore from that compared to the treadmill. Does that happen to you? Do you feel a difference between the two?
I'm just not really, I just don't really like the treadmill that much.
Okay.
So it doesn't feel different to me. I just run slower on the treadmill than I do when I'm just running out in the wild.
I just wondering, like coming back from an Achilles, like do they recommend?
Yet,
I know, but will they have you start treadmill and
I
then
would
go?
guess that because I can't be I can't be trail running and
It's
things
just a brutal
like that.
injury.
Into potholes.
They had
come on.
They got McAfee on the show.
Yeah.
Or they had Rogers on McAfee in here earlier, and they're like feeling up his Achilles and stuff. So he's he's gonna beat you back.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Yeah.
all that's
he
holding him back
should,
is
right?
the Jets.
I did not get the bridge surgery or whatever it's called. So hey, good on him.
He's got that Captain America serum, I think.
Actually, no. I was actually in the 80th percentile for the mass that has come back on my calf. So.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah, it's nothing
Whoa.
to sneeze at.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Humble brag.
I'm just saying.
Some light.
80th percentile muscle growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She looked at my calf yesterday. She said, "Wow, that's pretty close."
She said, "This guy got some." I hope your wife doesn't know about that.
Well, I'm just saying.
You were hurt.
I'm just, like Captain America. I came back.
You're saying it was bigger than this before. That's what she said. Something like that.
916-339-1140 on the YouTube chat. Michael Baldacci is saying, as far as Shohei is concerned, that Toronto has a really big Japanese culture.
Really?
So that might be one of the reasons.
Interesting. The more you learn.
Yes. So if you are just now joining us, thank you for joining us. Shohei, it seems like he has narrowed it down, depending on, this is according to Bob Nightingale, the Giants, the Dodgers, and the Blue Jays.
Pointless exercise. If you were Shohei, what would you be looking for?
If I was Shohei, it's a shame that San Diego couldn't figure it out.
Right.
Because I'd love to live in San Diego with that offense.
You get pretty much all the perks of LA.
All the perks of LA and not being in LA, right? So it's a shame that San Diego, I don't know if money-wise they could. Well, I mean, in baseball, you can just pay whoever you want. So it's a shame that they couldn't figure it out in San Diego with Tatis and Machado. I would have looked at San Diego because you got a stacked lineup, but they haven't won anything.
And you got the market, too. Yeah,
and you got the market. It's a party in there.
Yeah.
So
probably like you don't have the pressure either. Like if you go to the Dodgers, like especially if Shohei goes to the Dodgers, it's y'all just won one title with Shohei. Like no, that's 4 or 5 you got to be winning at that point. And if he goes to Padres, it's like you win 1 in 10 years and you're a god.
Maybe Shohei, like us, Drake was at the top of his Spotify and he wants to kick it in the 6.
Maybe. It could really be as simple as that. It really could.
There you go. 916-339-1140. Let's get out to TC. TC, you're beating us to it. You got something to say about Harrison Barnes because we got something to say.
Yes, Stiles and Chris, what's up?
What's up? What you got for us?
Hey, check it out. Look, you know what? HB, we got to make a move on HB. We got to throw him in a trade or something. But this last night, and what's kind of been going on was bigger than HB. We already know what HB is, and we already know that we have to move on or move him to the bench. So we don't need to keep talking about HB. I'm coming from a different perspective. Last night was the first time I was really, truly livid at Mike Brown and his rotation and how he approached the game. If you holding everybody accountable, Well, then Fox should have been benched. He dropped the 30, but he turned over the ball 5 times, and he was out letting the refs get in his head, and he was outside of his element. He should have been on the bench. Davion should have came in or something along those facts. Domas, I'll call you guys all the time talking about Domas. I don't care about his 26 and 11. That dude stands in the paint and he never contests anybody's shot. I watched him time after time last night just stand there and watch Valanciunas do clean shakes, hook shots, grabbing rebounds. Bro, you play with this dude on Lithuania. How you don't know him? How can you beat him? How can you box him out? I'm tired of that, bro. Last night, these dudes let the refs get in their head. Mike, you got to settle this team down. And when somebody's not showing up, Mike, you got to reach out to the bench and be like, let's shake something up. We were up 15, bro. It looked like we was going to blow the doors off these dudes. You look up in the second quarter, we're down 15. Like, come on, that loss last night was on Mike. Mike should have been having them players, and if you wasn't trying to show up, I know Fox had 30, but if you're not showing up and you turn over the ball, bro, check it out. You got to sit down, and we got to put some new blood in the game. I'm serious, and Domas really has to start contesting shots, dog. I'm tired of him just standing in the paint, letting everybody have their way with him, man. And I'm livid, bro. I send my condolence to that to the fan that passed away last night at the game. That really hurt me, bro. But as far as that game, I'm still living, man. We're supposed to be in the end-game tournament. This team is not established enough to be overlooking like, oh, I'm not tripping. We got knocked out. I'm not worried about it. No, bro. Winning this tournament would have been an accomplishment, man. I'm sick. I'm mad right now.
No, I feel you, TC. I can literally feel it through the phone that you are upset. And I get it. I get it. Look, Mike Brown is a guy who we all love, and he gives us sound bites, and he, has really turned around this franchise and this team in general. But nobody is perfect, and nobody is – when you lose, everybody deserves some of the blame. Now, do I think that the answer was benching De'Aaron Fox?
Yeah. That's my thing.
I don't know. Probably not, because you're just stuck in a situation.
Yeah.
The reason you get on Harrison Barnes when he makes a mistake is because the highs of Harrison Barnes aren't much different than the lows, right? Sure. So you could find maybe some highs somewhere else. I know De'Aaron was turning the ball over, but there's nobody else on that bench that's going to give you what De'Aaron gives you. So that's why, and Mike Brown, compared to other teams and other coaches, does go more college, high school in terms of I'll play with the hot hand. But when there is a drop-off between De'Aaron and whoever, and Malik is not really the backup point guard, and De'Aaron and Davion, you just can't afford to do it. You are not in a situation where you can, again, go kind of high school, college, and say, I'm going to punish you, and let's see what Davion can do. That's the thing about the pros.
Yeah.
We know what Davion can do. That's why he's on the bench.
Right. I mean, it's just that this team is deep, but it does kind of feel like, in some sense, they're deep in the wrong places. Like they have a surplus of 2 guards that they can throw out there. They have so many power forwards they can throw out there, but they don't have depth at small forward, which we talked about for a big part of the show earlier. But to TC's point, like into what you just said, take De'Aaron out for who?
Yeah.
Take De'Aaron out for who? Because it's not going to be Davion, because the offense
This is your reigning player of the week 2 weeks in a row.
No, yeah. Also, I would say De'Aaron's allowed to have a bad game.
Yeah.
Like I think that it's so. And Sabonis, same story, where it's like, take out Sabonis for who? You want JaVale McGee to check in? I mean, he didn't have it last night like he did on Saturday. You want them to go small maybe and go with Trey Lyles at the center?
That's the only answer.
That's good luck with that against Jonas Valanciunas. I mean, I think that Monty kind of does need to look at the current construction of this roster, and I think, Mike Brown's talked about why the offense doesn't look the same way it's looked last year, and, this team is trying to take more of a defensive approach. I don't know if the roster itself lends itself to that style of play, or the style of play that they want to eventually get to. So I think, no, Mike Brown is definitely not excused from playing his part in the blame. I definitely think he deserves some of it, but I think, frankly, I mean, when it specifically comes to these kind of matchups against New Orleans and against Houston, I think obviously gave the Kings problems, and I think Minnesota will give the Kings problems in the future. I don't know if, to even Biederman's point, I don't know if this team is built that way. I don't know if they just flat out don't have the bodies to throw against a lot of how NBA teams are built. Like a lot of NBA teams have multiple, long rangy guys, and the Kings just don't have really any.
It's a wing-driven league, and you have no wings.
Yeah. You got Keegan. He's a developing wing. You got Harrison, who's he's a wing.
Harrison.
He is what he is.
He's there.
Yeah.
He exists, as was said in the post-game press conference last night. And, the thing about the in-season tournament, to TC's point, and we talked about the importance.
Yeah.
Let's not forget. I think that the one of the worst parts of this loss is that not only did you lose, and I know it's separate, but not only did you lose, and Tyrese Halliburton had a party in the game prior,
right?
But Keegan Murray tweaks his back, and you brought him back in. You wanted to win.
Yeah.
You wanted to win bad, and you couldn't get it done. Nate's giving me that eye.
De'Aaron played 40 minutes.
And you lost by 10. Got to get to a break. When we get back, Harrison Barnes. How much blame should Harrison Barnes get? Are we being too mean to Harrison Barnes? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Snatch De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
On December 9th, witness a mind-bending show like no other with The Clairvoyants Holiday Spectacular at Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville. Featuring mind-reading, magic tricks, and illusions. With a special appearance from Mr. Coney Handini, the world's first mind-reading dog. Get your tickets now to see The Clairvoyants live. Only at
Gold Country Casino Resort.
Must be 21 or older.
Subcontractors, grow your business with more leads and leverage your marketing costs to receive over 10 times the value in advertising. Subcontractors United is offering 40 home services contractors to join our advertising co-op. For under $2,100 a month, you'll share in over $83,000 a month in advertising. That's $1 million a year in advertising for under $2,100 a month. There's only 3 subcontractors per category, not 3,000, so lead potential is unlimited. Google Subcontractors United for more information. Yep, 'tis the season. Hi, if you're like me, you take pride in your gift giving. Well, I've got a terrific idea for you. Gift cards from the Good Feet store. Okay, so arch supports aren't exactly what they've been hinting for, but they'd love them. And with the Good Feet lifetime warranty, it's a gift they'll enjoy forever. Buy a Good Feet gift card now, and Good Feet will boost its value 20%. That's a 20% gift free from the Good Feet store. If you have someone on your list who's on their feet all day, has sore feet, knee, hip, or back pain, or even plantar fasciitis, maybe needs an energy boost, or just wants to maintain their active lifestyle, a Good Feet Arch Support gift card could be the perfect gift.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
This segment is brought to you by Light the World Giving Machine.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports. Caleb Williams from USC going to college football has decided to sit out the DirecTV Holiday Bowl. Remember that name for our game when we play our bowl games. The DirecTV Holiday Bowl. Caleb Williams has decided not to play, which always depends on who you ask and depends on the year, whether people care or not. Let's not forget, what was it? Nick Bosa did not play in his bowl game when he was with Ohio State.
Did either.
McCaffrey as well. So
would you play
if it wasn't a national championship?
Coming off an Achilles,
man. I can't mess up the back for my family.
We were throwing the ball yesterday, me and you.
Nate, tell me about my spiral. Tell me about my lefty spiral.
It was good. It was nice. It was one of those like plastic balls.
No, it was in the garage. What's in the garage?
Yeah, but it's like one of those. It's not obviously not. It's one of those super grippy. Like but yeah, I mean it was tighter than mine.
There you go.
I do think I could probably throw farther, but
that's not. I can throw farther than you right now.
We've got an empty
I think I can
field
throw
out there,
40
boys.
yards.
We can settle this.
Nate,
by the way, I can throw further than both
little,
of you, but that's
you're
fine.
a little quacky with your throws. If we're gonna be honest.
Okay. Well, I don't know what the H that means, but okay.
We're ducks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, because it's a plastic child's ball, so that might be it.
I don't really understand what you mean by that.
I'm just.
I don't know.
Just stating facts. If we're stating facts here.
If you're an athlete, you can.
I don't know how this turned into a fight because this came out.
No. If you're an athlete, you can.
Never said that.
You can perform with any size of equipment.
There you go.
All right.
You really saved that one.
Tough one for the Kings last night.
By the way, I can outthrow both of you. So
okay,
this is a pointless.
So Caleb Williams not playing. Are you moved?
Okay? Disrespect.
Are you moved? Do you care?
I mean, I think it's. I always think it's an interesting decision for everybody. I think for sure. I think in an ideal world, finish out the season. You did all the work of getting yourself to that bowl just because it's not the bowl game you'd want. I get it. You don't want to get injured for no reason for a game that doesn't matter for you. But, I don't know. Like college is a very unique experience, like you're never going to be on a team with everybody who's around the same age as you. And like, it's just never, it only gets more and more serious as you get further and further along in your football career. So I don't know. I personally would, if he were my child or my brother or something, I would probably advise, hey man, it's a lot easier said than done, but just go out there and do it, I totally understand the injury front of it. And there's no benefit, but I don't know. I'm a purist.
Absolutely
in
not.
sense.
The Holiday Bowl, if you don't sit down next to me, we will be watching it. You can go watch it on the sideline. You know what's weird though? To answer your question, no. If it wasn't a national championship in contention.
So you just think you're better than the rest of your teammates?
If I'm going the first round, yeah, I am. I do think that.
You just think you the first pick of the draft?
No, that's pretty much it. But you know what's weird about this situation is that normally when players sit out, you leave.
Right, yeah.
He could sit out and come back and be like, psych.
Too, yeah.
Or he's not. I don't think he would transfer.
I mean, he was very disappointed with how this season went.
That's true. That would be his third school.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I mean, normally when you transfer, you can.
It's like I'm going to the league.
I'm seeing, but it'd be it is a bit weirder to say, hey, you guys weren't good enough for me to play with you for the Holiday Bowl, but we back on.
I'm really not trying to be a Chicago Bear next year, so I'll see y'all in the summer.
Yeah, we're back lit today, so it'll be interesting to see who else doesn't play when it comes. I mean, Drake. I don't know if Drake May said anything, but I would assume same idea. As we get back to Kings talk, and I've been just trying to avoid this. Me and Nate are getting into fights because I'm just trying to avoid what is going to snowball as soon as I say the two words Harrison Barnes.
Oh boy.
Because Harrison Barnes got absolutely fried last night. A lot of people saw
check socials, Harrison, please.
No, and I don't think he does. And maybe it would help if he actually did. Who knows? But Harrison Barnes, I'm just going to be honest here. 3 field goal attempts, 1 field goal. He had one 3-pointer, made 1 free throw. He had 4 points. in 34 minutes. I can't even play the. I can't even play. He had. Let's see here. He had 4 rebounds, which is actually high for Harrison Barnes. 1 assist.
2 turnovers.
2 turnovers. Somehow he had a steal, and people are done. And I went on to say, because, and we'll get to some of Mike Brown's sound as well, but I went on to say last night, because Mike Brown was saying how, we don't run plays for Harrison Barnes. That was a big thing. We don't run plays for Harrison Barnes. But as far as I'm concerned, it's not even just about running plays for Harrison Barnes. It's about offensively and defensively. We just talked about guys that have calling cards. We talked about Herbert Jones, right? We talked about, and then maybe he'll give you something, but you know why he's there. So this is what we're going to do, Chris.
Yep. Okay.
This is what we're going to do.
Okay.
I'm going to read through the Kings lineup, the Kings roster.
Okay.
And we are going to explain what it is they do.
Okay.
Right. And
what their role is.
What their role
What you
is.
expect from them on a night basis.
Keegan Murray.
Hit threes, and at this point, I mean, he's defending the other team's probably best ball handler, or if not their best scoring option. I mean, we've seen him guard anywhere from Steph Curry to, he probably would have been thrown on Paul George and Kawhi. So that's Keegan Murray's role.
Domantas Sabonis.
Set up everybody else, be physical, rebound, and be vertical on defense.
Kevin Huerter.
Hit threes, and just don't be a liability defensively, really. That's probably what they ask him every day. Just go out there, give max effort, and hit some shots.
De'Aaron Fox.
Everything.
The
just
engine.
do everything.
Right. Trey Lyles.
Come in, give a spark, space the floor, and rebound.
Malik Monk. Spark plug.
Do you, man.
Right.
Just
offensive spark plug.
Get out the way.
Right. Keon Ellis.
Defend for sure. I mean, he's in there for defense. He's and really to just stay afloat offensively, knock down a shot if you're open.
Sasha Vezenkov.
Shoot that thing. Shoot that thing, and again, don't be a liability defensively. Just slide your feet and stay out of foul trouble.
JaVale McGee.
Rim protection, really. Rim protection and pick and roll. That's what we want from JaVale.
Kessler Edwards.
I mean, that's energy. He's going to come in, bring energy, defense. Anything offensively is really a bonus.
Davion Mitchell.
Just do him. Be a hound on defense, and offensively make shots. He's not really asked to be a playmaker or facilitator. Just knock down an open three. Keep the offense moving.
Harrison Barnes.
I mean, if you were to say something, I mean, it's all been setting up for this. Fill in the gaps, I guess. Like that's what his goal. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to play into the gaps. Bit, but I mean, his role, if I had to guess, would be do the dirty work. Again, if you have an open shot, take it. I mean, defensively, he's not asked like Keegan. Like, he's not asked to guard the best defender. He's kind of just asked to guard. I'm really not, I swear I'm not trying to play into the bit, but I think that's I think his role is Swiss Army knife. Like, go out there.
Come on now.
Whatever the team needs,
he does not deserve that term.
I mean, Mike Brown quite literally said last night, I don't run plays not to demean him. But,
right. Let's hear from Mike. Yeah. We have the sound. Let's hear from Mike Brown.
Building off of Jake's question there, you mentioned pregame, each player has helped identify their role and share it in front of the team. Can you share the specifics of what Harrison's identified role is and what you are looking to see from him on a night-to-night basis?
We're still defining the role, so it's not, but I could tell you just in general, he's going to have to help us rebound. He's going to take on some tough defensive assignments, right? And then, he's going to shoot the ball when he's open. The one thing that you guys have to understand is I don't call any plays for HB. Everything he does, he kind of gets off of others. And so, that's going to bring a amount of inconsistency too, because he doesn't get a single play call for him.
Interesting.
He's going to have to rebound.
Yeah.
When is the last time Harrison Barnes got more than 5 rebounds
in a game? It's this season has been
in a practice.
I think he was still with the Warriors.
He's grabbing boards during practice.
I mean, yeah, this has not been a good rebounding season for Harrison. This is definitely.
What's he averaging?
That's what I was trying to pull up here. Our internet's running a little bit slow, but I mean, I was checking earlier in the season, and he was at like 2.5 rebounds a game, which is going.
This is from Mike Brown. This is from Mike Brown, head coach. He's going to have to rebound for us. Harrison Barnes in the 2023-2024 season is averaging 3.3 rebounds. He's going to have to rebound for us.
He's playing 30-plus minutes, too, right? I mean, in terms of his averages.
Mike, when is he going to start rebounding for us?
He has gotten over 5 rebounds twice this season.
How many times?
Against the Clippers.
How many times has Red Velvet gotten more than 5 rebounds? Probably about 10.
Probably. I mean, yeah, he's had a couple nights in which, I mean, and that's not even what, I mean, and even in Mike Brown's answer there, like he doesn't really have, he's kind of filibuster. He's like, undefined role, but we a little bit of everything in general. Yeah, I mean, how about I just read for you Kevin Huerter's last, 6 games of rebounding.
Mm-hmm.
He had 7, 2, 9, 5, 6, and then 5 last night. So
I guess everybody's gonna have to rebound for us.
He's doing it. Kevin's playing his role, and like that's the thing is, and there's only a certain amount of rebounds to go out, but you see Sabonis, you see how aggressive Sabonis is going for.
I don't even see Harrison down there though.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Is like, especially if you're like Kevin. Again, we can say Kevin's going to be asked to take threes and again defend at a decent level and clearly rebound. Harrison's not scoring, and so Mike Brown last year would be adamant with Keegan. If your shot isn't falling, that doesn't mean that you should just you should Tony Snell out there and have no other stats. You're out there to play basketball. You play 34 minutes. You should have a lot more than 4 rebounds. You should have a lot more than 1 assist. How do you have 1 assist in this
offense?
It makes no sense.
How? And I get where you get the ball, but we got to get
total shots. What was that? And I think 2 of those were in the first quarter.
We got to get to a break. When we get back, I believe that the Beam regime and Kings media can affect Harrison Barnes being on this roster because it's happened before.
Geez.
It has happened before with another team that we talk about on this show. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Good Guys Heating and Cooling has a deal going on right now that you cannot miss. This summer was much shorter and cooler than normal, so that means Good Guys is overstocked and ready to clear out their warehouse. They've got inflation-busting pricing on a brand new heating and air system for just $82.99. No other company is offering a replacement system that low. Call Good Guys now at 530-GOOD-AIR to see if you qualify. That's 530-GOOD-AIR for a no-cost qualification appointment. Best service, best price, guaranteed. And that's no bull. License number 1057-618.
It's Credit Christmas at Prestigio Jewelers. Get the gifts you want this year. Prestigio guarantees your credit up to $10,000. It's easy. Have a valid ID, proof of income, and be 18 or older. Prestigio has competitive pricing on all jewelry such as gold chains, wedding sets, diamond earrings, and designer brands like Cartier, Gucci, Bulova, and Citizen. Rebuild your credit, even with a repo or a bankruptcy at Prestigio Jewelers. This Christmas, come for the credit and be amazed by the selection at Prestigio Jewelers. Online at prestigiojewelers.com.
Pro Paint Days are back for MVP's Pro Rewards members at Lowe's. Now through December 15th, you can earn 10% back in paint rewards via Lowe's e-gift card when you spend $100 or more on qualifying paint purchases. Plus, save $10 on a new and exclusive 5-gallon pail of HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Drywall PVA Primer and Sealer. Lowe's knows paint. Lowe's knows pros. Offers valid 12/4 through 12/15. Exclusions, restrictions, and more terms apply. See Lowe's.com/L/pro loyalty terms. Subject to change.
Boost Mobile is giving families the holiday gift they really want. When you switch to Boost, get an iPhone 11 for only $49.99 or a free Samsung Galaxy A23. You'll get amazing service too, because only Boost switches between the top networks to give you the best service. So stop by a Boost Mobile store and give the gift of Boost. That's an iPhone 11 for $49.99 or a free Samsung Galaxy A23. Get yours at a Boost Mobile store today. Visit boostmobile.com for details. New customers and in-store only. Requires auto pay and ID verification. Other restrictions apply. See participating dealers for details.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Shout out to the YouTube chat, holding it down as always. And thank you to all you who have called and text so far, 916-339-1140 if you want to be a part of the conversation. Got some text to read through. I have a tweet here from a former coworker. Says, I was sitting behind the Kings bench last night. When HB got pulled, he looked so disengaged and walked directly to the locker room, ... Seemed odd. So I'm trying to think about when.
Walks to the tunnel. He doesn't walk to the locker room. He'll usually go on he goes on the on the bike and just kind of bikes it out.
916 on the text line.
Because he's a professional. That's what
right.
veterans do.
They
Keep
know
your body warm.
They know how to wear suits now. It's time. All the Kings need from Harrison Barnes is 10 points tops. Harrison looks half asleep out there most of the time. From another 916, Harrison Swiss Army knife Barnes. Yeah, that's exactly what I think. Laughing, LOL. Nick from the No. Another 916.
You don't like the Swiss Army knife?
Another 916. That was by far the worst game of Fox's career.
That's not true. That's also definitely not true.
That cannot be true.
That's not true.
That is not
I
true.
can guarantee it's not.
You know, the Harrison Barnes thing, everybody, there's always the most popular guy on the team is the backup quarterback.
Yeah.
And there's always got to be a cop-out on a starting lineup when you're not doing well. And yesterday, when I mentioned how Harrison Barnes, it's not about the offense or defense, it's just about the fact that he's neither. We're trying to figure out what his role actually is. What exactly is it that you do here, Mr. Barnes? Somebody said, one of my kind of leftover followers from being in the Bay said, hey, well, Harrison Barnes in 2014-2015 was an even lesser player, because I said you cannot win a championship with Harrison Barnes with just having an open spot in your starting lineup. And they said Harrison Barnes was this or lesser than this in 2014-2015, and the Warriors won the whole thing. And they said, checks notes. Warriors starting lineup in 14-15 had Harrison Barnes. I get what you're saying, but Barnes literally was a lesser version of himself. Now was a starter, and they won a championship.
Different situation.
I said
different.
I said check stats. So in 2014-2015, Harrison Barnes' split was 10-5-1. In 2023-2024, it is 11-3-1. So he's averaging one more point this season. All those years ago, he averaged 2 more rebounds. There's so much wrong with this comparison. Yes, there's so much wrong with this comparison that I don't know where to start. And number one is that was also the year. Now, I get it if we're saying, hey, De'Aaron Fox is trying to take that leap, but Steph Curry was the MVP.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Steph Curry was the MVP. Situation. You had Klay Thompson. So as much as the Kings can shoot, this is historically the best. This is pre-injury Klay Thompson. Yeah. Klay Thompson was an all-star. Yes. So they had 2 all-stars that season. And so you had the best shooting backcourt of all time.
Yeah.
An MVP. Mm-hmm. And I would say that with all that.
Don't forget a good Draymond, too.
A good Draymond. A pre-prime
Draymond.
A pre-KD Draymond. So Draymond was averaging probably like between 10, 12 points.
That's where he was actually near triple-doubles.
Exactly.
Not
triple singles.
Great bench, too. I mean, with
great bench.
And,
So if you're looking at, I would imagine out of those 10 points that Harrison was averaging, how many of those, and I know you hate this term, but seriously, between Klay and Steph, how many of those 10 points per game were due to the gravity of Steph and Clay. It's just a different team, right? So how many cheapies did Harrison get? And he still only averaged 10 compared to, I feel like the 11 points, I don't want to say are more hard-earned, but it's your turn to shoot the basketball, Harrison. That's how it works here, even though they don't run plays for him. So I'm just saying, even though he got 10, I think it's a ballooned 10 is my point.
Sure.
Anybody, if it wasn't Harrison Barnes,
could have been anybody,
and you probably average more than that.
That's just a shooter.
Because you have, and he's younger back then. He probably had more dunks.
I feel like he's getting to the line more now as a veteran too. So
Yeah.
like you gotta those are different points, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's true.
They're still points, but the way you get them is totally different.
Totally different.
Because Chris, you're always saying like if you need a foul, if you need someone to get to the line, HB does it at a critical point. So.
There you go. So, I just looking at Harrison Barnes, the comparison that I was alluding to before the break is that you were on this, Chris, as I think a lot of us were. Moving off of Trey Lance was as much about dealing with Kyle Shanahan as it was about actual football. Money-wise, they didn't necessarily have to get rid of Trey. They didn't want to deal with, why didn't Trey get this many reps? What are your thoughts on Trey? How is Trey looking? He was a high draft pick, different reason.
Right.
High draft pick. I don't want to deal with it. Send him to Dallas. He's somebody else's headache now. I think if the media and if look, you think that social media doesn't matter, if there continues to be just an uproar of Harrison over and over again, I don't know that he gets traded, but they will have to move. Let's be honest. I love Mike Brown. That was a terrible answer.
It was
about Harrison Barnes. That was a bad answer.
Yeah. He didn't have. Yeah, you should 20 games in. You should probably have an answer.
That was
to
a
what
bad
this guy's
answer.
role is.
It's
still big.
We
work
need
on.
him to rebound. Everybody needs to. Is this CYO?
Yeah.
Is this CYO? Everybody. What exactly is it? You don't even know. That's like when you have a job and you want to get a promotion.
Yep.
And you say, "Hey, what do I have to do to get this promotion?" And your boss doesn't know what to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got to do more of this, and you got to work here, and we just want to see you be a bit more independent. Give me facts.
Yeah.
Mike Brown does not really know,
or doesn't want to say,
or doesn't want to say.
blast.
He doesn't want to put him on blast.
Yeah.
But when they're game planning, he's just a body. He's just a body.
Yeah, yes, he is. He really. I mean, yeah, it feels disrespectful to put it like that, but I mean, that's essentially what he is. Like, he is a 6'8". He's a placeholder for for
the player they want,
for an archetype. Really, I mean, yeah, it really is. It's like, this is the frame of a guy that should be playing in this position, that we want in this position, but he's just not producing like how we would want that person to produce. And to me, that's the most frustrating thing about HB, is just like, Kessler Edwards will check in, and I realize Kessler Edwards has checked in because his energy defensively, whether it's too high or he's too handsy, at least much like Chris Duarte, I recognize him on defense. I'm like, Chris Duarte, he's fouling a lot, but I notice him out there. Too many times Harrison's guarding guys like Brandon Ingram, and I mean, he gets killed going across screens, trying to fight through screens, but it just doesn't feel like there's much resistance there. And then offensively, again, Mike Brown saying the reason why you don't notice him or there's inconsistency offensively is because he doesn't run plays for him. Well, that doesn't mean that you should get 3 shots. Like, do you run plays for Trey Lyles often? Do you run plays for all these guys? Like, I obviously there's a good handful of guys that they do run plays for, but just because you're not running plays for him, you still don't really see Harrison get involved. It doesn't feel like he's ever really making his impact known on the game. And I just feel like, again, like at some point you can get better from that position. That's where I thought you were going with the Trey Lance is, it feels like Mike Brown puts Harrison out there just because he likes the guy Harrison is, and he likes what he represents from a player in general and as a professional. But then it's almost like he doesn't want to take him out or definitely not take him out of the starting lineup, but doesn't want to pull his minutes too much because, well, I want to reward a guy who does all the things right. And if I don't feel like there's a guy that I can go to on the bench that's head and shoulders better than him, then I'd much rather just run out with it, live and die with Harrison, and hope that he does, take a moment to step up in something and does it. Because the thing about Harrison is he's safe. He is such a safe player. If you're a coach, more times than not, you have to feel like you're not going to get in trouble believing in a guy like Harrison Barnes. Like he's just somebody who's really trustworthy. And, I think he ends up burning you because he does have a little bit of too much passive nature to it.
Yeah, no, I'd let Harrison Barnes sell me a house.
Yeah, totally.
I would trust a house from Harrison Barnes.
Yeah,
I'd let him I'd let him sell me a car.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't think he'd sell me a lemon. I think he's an upstanding citizen. Do I think he's a good fourth option on a championship team?
No, I don't.
No.
Yeah. And I wonder if Monty thinks that as well, because like, that's the thing also is, we can complain all we want. We can say fans can cause an uproar about whoever it is that they don't want out of here. But at the end of the day, what does Monty McNair think? And I don't think we've gotten a clear answer. I mean, I thought people kind of felt like this offseason was the time to move on from Harrison. If you ever were going to move on from him, there was guys like Kyle Kuzma and Jeremy Grant out there that you could have really heavily pursued. But I don't know. I kind of feel like I think Monty, clearly Monty liked Harrison. I just don't know where he stands 20 games into this season, if he's changed his mind or if they still feel like, hey, like, let's give this guy, for whatever reason, even more time to kind of get adjusted. I don't believe that, but I just wonder what, at the end of the day, what does Monty
had his own career to get adjusted.
That's how I feel. I mean, and he's the second longest tenured Sacramento King behind De'Aaron Fox. Like, he's been here longer than anybody else. It's just, and I also wonder how much of it is he's from. Now, I know Monty did re-sign him this offseason, but how much of its fit makes sense with how this team was built? I mean, clearly, again, Monty had the option to move on from him from this unit, and he clearly felt like Harrison belonged with this unit, but I don't know. Like, to me, it kind of feels like a little bit like Davion Mitchell, where this guy was brought in when this team was trying to do something completely different, and with this team now, it just doesn't really make a lot of sense, or it doesn't seem to be fitting, at least.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, is the answer to the Harrison Barnes question somewhere on that bench? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m.
on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Fill your game day cooler with the refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Smooth, real brewed tea with a 5% kick of alcohol. Look for the bright yellow cans. Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly. For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you have a game plan for COVID-19? Prescription oral treatments must be taken within the first 5 days of symptoms, even if mild. If you have a high risk factor, ask your doctor if treatment is right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If you're a business owner, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton invites you to take advantage of a 4.9% APR for up to 36 months on select 2023 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter vans. And since new Sprinters qualify for the Section 179 tax deduction, you can save up to $6,000 on your new Sprinter. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, sales, service, and a dedicated commercial van department to help your company with any job. mbofstockton.com.
At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think happy Honda days. Let's explain. Happy is a good thing. We all like happy. Honda stands for quality, reliability, comfort, design, peace of mind, value at resale, and a lot more feel-good words. Days is how long you have left to take advantage of Elk Grove Honda's year-end clearance underway right now. Elk Grove Honda is located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard, or visit us at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults.
Nothing is everything.
Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Over the last 5 years, there's been a 25% increase in reported hate crimes. A hate crime not only harms the victim, but strikes fear into their entire community. Our community. The FBI is committed to combating hate crime and seeking justice. We're here to help. If you have been a victim or witness to a hate crime, dial 1-800-CALL-FBI or submit a tip at tips.fbi.gov. Protecting our communities together. Dial 1-800-CALL-FBI to report hate crimes. Sponsored by the FBI. Aired by California Broadcasters.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And it's swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive, base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. And you always got to keep listening to the bad boys of the midday, because you never know what's going to happen. And what's happening now is that Live Nation has teamed up with Sactown Sports for your chance to see Skid Row at Hard Rock Live December 16th. And we are giving away tickets right about now. If you are caller number 4, 916-339-1140, you will be working with Nate, and hopefully you will be caller number 4 to win your tickets to see Skid Row December 16th at Hard Rock Live. So call in right now. Call in right now, and we will get that taken care of for you. 916-339-1140. Chris Watkins, halfway through the show. Are you feeling a little bit better?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you know, I wouldn't say significantly or substantially or anything, but it's been a good show, a fun show, and I think we're getting, you know, it hasn't been negative. I really thought today was going to be a ton of people calling in and, you know, complaining and, you know, throwing excuses out there and just being angry. And I think everybody's actually had a pretty measured and, you know, also pretty accurate analysis of what happened last night. I think the Kings, I think everybody knows that they should have showed up yesterday. I think it's good that we're bringing up the conversation of how this team gets better in the big picture. I think the Harrison Barnes conversation, as long as it stays healthy, I think is a good conversation to have. I think that's the clear and obvious spot in which the Kings could get better. Yeah, I feel all right. I'm feeling a little bit better than I was at the start of today.
Good.
You feeling good?
I'm feeling good because you're starting to kind of give it to Harrison Barnes a little bit. And look, unfortunately, he might be the sacrificial lamb a little bit.
I think so.
There's blame to go around. It's just the bottom line is this team to go back to the comparison with the Warriors. And I would also say, going back to those that Harrison Barnes on the Warriors, dare I say that 2014, 2015, that Western Conference, I know they had Lob City, but that Western Conference was not this Western Conference.
No, I mean, and also like the game was different even 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the Warriors really started the 3-point revolution. So, you know, they were just kind of playing a different math game. I think I looked at Steph's MVP stats from his stats from his MVP season. Steph was at like 24 points a game. I think he was shooting 44% from three. I do think in his defense, that was the season where he played like half of the fourth quarters in the season because they were just blowing teams out. But yeah, I mean, you know, that Warrior situation, it's almost apples to oranges to compare that situation to how basketball is played today and also this Kings situation. I just think
that's a good point.
Harrison's
9 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, everybody else was playing. They were playing the Lob City Clippers.
Right.
Like, think about
was it a wing-driven league 9 years ago?
I don't know. I mean,
I think so.
I wouldn't say so. I mean, maybe in the sense of, I mean, I've always believed that if you have a great wing, that's how you be in contention, is by always having the LeBrons, obviously, but the Kevin Durant's, the Paul Georges, the Kawhis of the world, Giannis, obviously. Like, those guys to me are always going to be the difference makers, because you just can't match up with those guys when it comes to their size and their athleticism at the same time. Like, that's honestly the thing that's made Steph so impressive, is as a guard, he's been able to dominate to the level he has, because you would think a guard, okay, you can figure it out, put somebody stronger on him, put somebody taller on him, and life is a lot more difficult. But, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I would say that it's a little bit less of a forward league than it was then, or a wing league than it is now. But still, I mean, wings mattered.
Always, right. I mean, if you can find a 6'9",
Tracy McGrady,
super athletic, right, guy that can shoot the rock and defend, that's never not been in style. 916-339-1140 from the 916. Harrison Barnes is definitely getting traded. It's all about when. If Harrison Barnes is sitting on the bench, his trade value is next to nothing.
I disagree.
This is Monty and Coach Brown's way of trying to show the rest of the league that he still has value by playing him.
Guys, think about that logic.
But what is the value?
I mean, I actually think people would be shocked, because this is always how it happens, is when it's your team, you feel like, oh, nobody wants this guy. They see, you know, we see him every night and he's nothing. Well, that's just your situation, and you're not taking into account how somebody else might view, you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Like the Cleveland Cavs might view Harrison Barnes and say, you know, we really don't need a ton of scoring or anything. What we do need is a steadying presence, a veteran, and a guy who's actually going to play a lot of minutes and be solid. That's just a random example. But like, I think Harrison has value around the league, and I don't think benching him does reduce his value a little bit, maybe for any NBA scout or GM out there that believed Harrison was still a quality starter. And I'm not saying he's not. I would just say he's more replaceable starter these days. I think benching isn't going to change that. Like, I think everyone knows the player he is. And if anything, you could argue that moving him to the bench might highlight some of the things that he does well, more than playing him for 34 minutes and wanting more. Maybe he'll give you a really good 20-minute stretch, and maybe that improves his value, because now people see him as this super useful 7th or 6th man instead of a guy who's underperforming as the 4th or 5th option.
You got to get these minutes down, man. Look,
you definitely got to get them down, but
and I hear what 916 is saying in theory, but okay, when we're sitting in the media section in front of us, is actually really cool. Sometimes you'll see NBA scouts. Yeah. And the NBA scouts will be there just jotting down things and things like that. If I'm an NBA scout, and it's right, these guys aren't necessarily, you can't scout the young guys because they're not playing. So they're scouting for trades and other things. So if I'm an NBA scout, I'm looking at Harrison Barnes' stat line. Yeah. Right? Okay, a potential trade. This brother played 34 minutes with 4 points, 4 rebounds. And that's a good day for Harrison Barnes for rebounds.
Yes,
4 is actually
a good
high.
rebounding day.
1 assist, 1 3-pointer. He's a -11. We don't really care about plus minus in this one-off situation. But 34 minutes, and that is your stat line. What value is that to a team? Who is signing up and saying, ooh, we need a guy that we can play 34 minutes and have 4 points, 4 rebounds and 1 assist. That's what we're missing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, nobody is going to take last night's performance and say, we could use some of that.
Here's a question about where Harrison is in his career, and I'll never forget this. I had a coach who said, hey, I'm going to put you in left field because when you get to the next level, you're not going to play center.
Right.
You're going to play left. Now, I did get a couple starts at Temple in center, but I did eventually get moved to left, right? So if you're Harrison, does it matter in terms of the benching conversation? Whoever is trading for Harrison, are you trading to start Harrison or are you trading to bring Harrison off the bench? Because if you're trading to bring Harrison off the bench, to your point, now you're getting a Costco free sample of what Harrison would look like coming off the bench.
Right, yeah. And again, that could raise his value because he might, in somebody else's eyes, say, wow, I'd only seen him in a starting role for the past, 8 years of his career. Maybe some people wouldn't have even thought to bring him off the bench. Who knows? Like maybe people would have thought, if you're getting 4 points and 4 rebounds in 34 minutes, why should I expect to get more when I play him less? And so, yeah, to your point, like it might be a good thing to move him to the bench to give teams a preview and also maybe even, who knows?
Might just work out for the Kings.
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe it just works out for the Kings. So I think maybe, I don't know. I don't know if I feel like we're at I shouldn't say rock bottom with Harrison, but I feel like I don't know if right now is the chance, is the time to do it. I don't know if that's like the sole thing I would pick out as being the difference, because I also think, much like the playoff conversation last year, people are saying, okay, put Trey Lyles in the starting lineup. I don't know if I really love that. Like, I don't know if that's the best use of Trey Lyles either. Like, I like Trey Lyles being able to be that backup center option. I like the little bit of punch and juice that he gives the second unit. So I can see why people might like Trey in that starting unit, but I also don't think it's a perfect 1-for-1 swap in terms of the things they do.
Is it crazy? Am I insane to put Sasha Vezenkov in the starting lineup and sit Harrison Barnes?
That's interesting because that's almost more of a Mike Brown line of logic where like he hasn't started Malik Monk and he could say like I just stated, like he might like Trey in that spot as well and say, you know what, let's throw Sasha in there, because with Sasha, it's pretty much either you're on or you're not playing at all. Right. And like either you're getting 25 minutes or 20 minutes or you're getting no minutes or you're getting one stint and then not coming in for the second half. So yeah, I don't think that's crazy at all. I don't think seeing what Sasha would look, because he's a lot more of a, defensively you might run into some problems with him and Sabonis as your front court, but I think shooting wise, like I would say that's an improvement in that starting lineup over Harrison Barnes. If you throw Sasha in there, who knows? Maybe that adds a different element to that offensive unit. And maybe you start looking a lot more like the team of last year than how they've looked this year. That's interesting.
Because I'm thinking really about, and we got to keep an eye on Keegan's back here, but I'm really thinking about Keegan and his versatility and his ability to be a dynamic defender, and maybe, okay, if it's a bigger guy, let's go Keegan, you guard the 4 and Sasha, you guard the 3.
Maybe, yeah.
Just depending on who you're playing. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, continuing to talk Kings, and it is time for the segment that we had not sunsetted, but it's time to bring it back. It's been a while. Beeman or dreaming? I think it might be the first time things go in a different direction, but I know some of you out there will stay strong. Beaming or dreaming when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's that time of year again. Sactown Sports is welcoming Santa back to town for the 40th annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 9th in downtown Sacramento. Grab the family and join us as we celebrate Santa's arrival with marching bands, superheroes, cheer squads, and more. Parade starts at 10 a.m. at 14th and N.
We'll see you Saturday, December 9th in downtown for the Santa Parade with Shriners Children's Northern California, California National Guard, and Attic Man Heating and Air Conditioning. Get more information at SactownSports.com.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
those stomach issues ruined your birthday?
You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa?
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's the season of performance event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision crafted performance is at your fingertips.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube.
Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. This song always reminds me of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. Always.
This used to be my intro song for way back, Chris and Co days. This song, the first time I heard this was NBA Street Volume 2.
I'm tripping.
Yeah,
it was
NBA Street
NBA
Volume
Street.
2.
Back to Papa.
Oh my
Slip
god.
and slide.
Maybe and like this was also the intro of the game. Like it was like the title screen would pop up and then you'd hear this. Like just instantly sends me back to PS2 in my hands.
Yep. It was definitely NBA Street. It was probably on multiple games.
It was so good.
Maybe
This is
SSX Tricky as well. That was crazy. That was a name drop. What else was there? There's Tony Hawk. Do you remember?
Tony Hawk Underground, yeah.
There was another skate video game that tried to battle Tony Hawk.
There was Skate.
It was Skate, right? It was
great.
Skate.
Skate was also great.
Right.
I played all three of them. Fantastic.
Yeah.
They're great.
Just great stuff.
Skateboarding
right there.
games, underrated.
Did you ever get down? Did you ever, and this goes out to Nate too, you guys, and Nate, you definitely skateboarded. I don't need to ask that.
Jeez. I longboarded. I would not count.
You longboarded.
Yeah,
you're lured to Dogtown, huh?
Yeah. It's more just like my local neighborhood. It was just like, I could have biked, but it was, I don't know, longboarding was just a different use of travel, I guess.
Yeah. Longboarded
really
out here in these Sacramento streets.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
It's not as hard as, if I could do it, I would definitely say anybody could do it, because I have two left feet when it comes to balance and when it comes to any sort of stability really at all. So if I can ride a longboard, I don't know if I could ride a skateboard. Just
now, how long was the longboard? Like legit? Because I had the long boards, but they weren't.
It was probably like wingspan.
Yeah, no, I never rocked one that big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier. It is pretty scary too. That's, again, I was no master skateboarder, so I just kind of had the basics of kick, push, and slight turns.
It's like Lupe.
Sometimes I would watch them, sometimes on my Instagram reels, I'll get footage of people going downhill. I'm y'all have a death wish. That's insane.
No, it is some crazy stuff. Well, there you go. And
Thrill Seeker, are you a roller coaster guy?
I'm a big roller coaster guy.
I don't know if I would have clocked you for that.
Really?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm a big roller coaster guy.
Okay. Like any? Like you just have no.
Well, not any, but I'll get down. Medusa.
Okay.
Kong.
Are drops a different category for you?
Superman.
Like just straight drops?
Yeah, no, I can do.
Okay. Interesting.
I can do them. Do you?
I have a limit. I definitely have a hard
grow
limit.
out of roller coasters? Is that?
I think so, because I think as you get older, you kind of feel your mortality a little bit more. And,
I'm just it's the way older I get, it's my time. It's my time. I don't know.
That's one way.
I'm just gonna get on. No,
I think that's a beautiful way of living.
Fairs and little fairs.
Not.
Some of those
Absolutely not.
I will not. But if you are a legit, a legit spot and
you're more just worried about if things
Magic
go bad.
Mountain.
I'm trying to make sure my family eats.
Right, Magic Mountain, not some traveling. You know what I mean? Some traveling circus, traveling fair situation. But if I'm going to an amusement park, I'm down.
Okay. Cool. Good to know.
I'm down.
I assume you've been to Vallejo's Six Flags.
Of course.
Tons of times.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Medusa.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, that
Medusa,
one I'm all
Kong.
clear. I'm all clear on
yes,
Vallejo.
exactly.
Magic Mountain is where we start to get a little dicey.
No, It's time to go.
Really?
It's go time for Magic Mountain.
All right.
You know what I mean? I got to wear the Dr. Show so I can ride the rides. I got to do a lot of different
You got to
things.
get the
No, I'm good.
the
I tell
lifts
you, I'm
up a
good.
little
This is my kid, right? We're riding it together. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports taking you up to 2 p.m. as we've been a little hard on the Kings today. Everyone from Mike Brown, from Harrison Barnes, someone said this was on the text line, De'Aaron Fox's worst game of his career. Everybody can get it on a day like today, and that just shows you that Adam Silver may have done something with this in-season tournament. He is in his bag, and Herbert Jones was in his bag last night
with a statement.
Game. You talking about
a statement dunk,
right?
I'm talking about
at the end. I wanted to leave. I was gonna say, Chris, I don't need to do the post game. I need to leave.
That's literally what that dunk
was.
Chris,
my baby needs me. I gotta go.
That was literally if y'all haven't started hitting the hallway yet, y'all should definitely start to clear out because
it was bad.
Herb ended that one. It was not great. Definitely not ideal.
Okay. Do we have to do this now with the Pelicans? Can the Pelicans, another overused sports term, there you go, put $1 in the bucket. Can they make some noise?
They can. They're capable. They're clearly capable of doing it.
Yeah.
It's just health. It's really stupid. It's got to be incredibly frustrating to be a fan of that team, but you're seeing it right now with your own eyes. This team can compete with anybody in the NBA. They just are never healthy. Mm-hmm. They never are healthy. And I don't know how you fight that. I don't know if that's I don't know if it's on the players. I don't know if it's on their coach or their training staff. I don't know if it's a combination of both. I don't know if they're just unlucky, but it's a really good team. And it's, they have some flaws. They don't have a true point guard, which I think, in a 7-game playoff series could probably really hurt you, especially, against a team like Denver, who's just so methodical and, so consistent as well. You're going to have some semblance of a unified offense. And, that Pelicans offense is a little ISO heavy.
Yeah. It's almost Zion in a weird Sabonis situation.
A little bit. Yeah. Instead of standing,
CJ gives the ball to Zion and then the offense starts.
Yeah.
And then you find Brandon Ingram somewhere, or Zion takes it himself, or then everybody collapses, and you got Herb Jones or Trey Murphy or somebody. Jordan Hawkins play.
The second Splash brother, right?
The second Nola Splash, the second Beignet brother didn't even have to play.
Yeah, I mean,
oh my goodness.
I mean, they're a really good team. I don't love Willie Green as a coach. I thought last night he did fine. I don't know if he's a championship level coach. I just haven't really loved how he's ran that New Orleans team. I thought last year, obviously, to start the season, he's had a good pulse, but it feels like when you're coaching that team, you should probably have some fail safes built into your offense for the amount of instability that you have. I know that's a really tough ask for a first-time head coach, but that's just kind of what I would do with that situation. A lot easier said than done. But I think that team is more than capable of beating just about anybody in the West. The Kings at this point have played pretty much everybody in the West that's tough, with the exception of Phoenix. I think the Pelicans are just as big of a test as anyone we've seen all year. I'm putting Phoenix up there, or I'm putting New Orleans, a healthy New Orleans team, up there with the Wolves, who we didn't see also at 100% health. But I'd take that Pelicans team over that Dallas team. I would take them over Golden State, or I would probably even take them over the Lakers as well. I really think the amount of scoring they have on that team, and then you throw Valanciunas, who is a legit big. That's a lot of guys that you gotta cover and you gotta account for. I really like the Pelicans. And it's not just because they've beaten us now 3 times. They're a tough matchup, I think, for legitimately everybody in the NBA.
Yeah.
With the exception of the Celtics, who have those 2 forwards, and maybe the Clippers as well. But there's just not a lot of teams that can match up the amount of length that the Pelicans provide.
And I know we were giving him a break this segment, but when you say, Mike Brown also said that Harrison did a good job on Zion, well, then why did you keep sending help?
Yeah.
And then that's how Valanciunas was just eaten for free, like an AARP member that's over 60 years old at IHOP.
It took 2 passes to break down that defense. Yeah.
I want to get into that when we get back, because I feel like the Kings, the whole let's trap thing that worked against the Warriors, and that who are notorious for turnovers anyway. And then the Kings decided that's our go-to. They did it against the Clippers.
Is the game plan.
They did it against the Clippers, did not work. They did it last night, it did not work. And I understand you're doing it because you're behind by a little bit, but I mean, were they even behind double digits last night when they did it?
They might have just barely been, but I think I mean, we'll talk about, I kind of think it's to cover up for the fact they don't have the personnel to guard one-on-one.
Right. I mean, I'm like, 2 minutes left, 2:30. There's enough time.
Yeah.
You don't have to
Towards
do that.
the end of that game.
It's not we need a steal.
And they gave up at the end of that game too. Like that was like a half effort trap that they set up with 2 minutes.
That's why the streets are saying that 30 burger by De'Aaron got that Chris Tucker burning the dollar emoji. They don't like what they were seeing, but he still got it done. He still got that 30 burger, and that's what matters. At least if you're going to lose, at least get the numbers right. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, we're talking about the trapping that the defense has been doing. Is it a little bit overstated? Do they need to chill out a little bit, or do you like the Kings pretending like they are West Virginia in March Madness? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season?
Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995?
Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
At Jim Boy's Tacos, you get a ho lot of flavor for under $10. Our classic number 2 combo meal spreads cheer with a farm-dusted ground beef taco, scratch-made bean and cheese burrito, and a soft drink. So jingle on down to Jim Boy's or order online at participating locations.
We can be heroes.
You've seen Cody Lee not once, but twice on America's Got Talent. And now is your chance to see him live at Gold Country Casino Resort. Get your tickets now to see America's Got Talent winner, Cody Lee, January 20th at 8 p.m. Only at
Gold Country Casino Resort.
This show is open to all ages.
This holiday season, create a fun and joyful memory for you and your loved ones. Come light the world and help those in need through the Giving Machine in the Roseville Galleria Mall, November 16th through December 10th, and in Modesto at Valley Fair Mall, December 11th through January 2nd. Choose from local charities serving your community or from global charities worldwide. Come feel the Christmas spirit at the Giving Machine. Learn more at givingmachine.greatersacramentomodesto.org.
Hey there, listen up, Sacramento. Ready to make this holiday season unforgettable? Well, we've got something that'll have you jingling all the way. Picture this, a brand new 2024 Kia Forte LXS for only $279 per month plus tax with no money down. No, I did not stutter. No money down. That's right. Zip, zero, nada. Elk Grove Kia is spreading the joy this Christmas, and we're making it easier than ever for you to drive home in style. So why wait? I will say it again. Head on down to Elk Grove Kia and drive home your new 2024 Kia Forte LXS today with absolutely no money down. Elk Grove Kia is your go-to destination for top-notch quality and unbeatable service. Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or go to elkgrovekia.com. $279 plus tax, zero customer cash for signing. Residual of $10,000, $250 base and 10 year costs per mile over service security. Enter one of the subject requires help on this. Elk Grove Kia.
Did you know one of the worst things you can do is turn on your furnace after it's been sitting there all summer, gathering dust without giving it a thorough tune-up first?
Think about it. What if your car had been sitting in the garage for 6 months without ever running?
Any piece of machinery that's been sitting needs to be tuned up. So call Bell Brothers. We'll tune up your furnace for just $87 and guarantee the results.
We guarantee that your tuned-up furnace will save you $87 on your energy bills. And we guarantee that your tuned-up furnace won't break down during the season, or we'll immediately refund your money. No questions asked.
Don't delay. Small problems that are easy and inexpensive to fix can quickly turn into big, expensive problems.
Call Bell Brothers right now to schedule your furnace tune-up at 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Sactown Sports.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Nate Littlefield's been hanging out with us behind the glass, doing a great job. As always, rocking the Stockton Kings shirt. I got to get down there to Stockton, see what it's. I saw you, Chris, you were there on Friday. Was that Friday?
Yes, it was Friday. Yeah, me and Brendan hopped in a carpool and went on down to Stockton, and it was a really good time. I got to see G League Ignite, which was really cool. Got to see Ron Holland, who's going to be a lottery pick. Who knows? Some are saying top 5. That dude,
cooking.
That dude looks ridiculous. Just a ridiculous defender and a high-level scorer at the rim. But Stockton was a great time. Definitely would recommend. I know sometimes the Kings will like. The reason we went was because the Kings had a really long road stand or road trip, and Stockton had 4 or 5 games at home. So definitely, if you're bored, if you're ever missing Kings basketball, you head on down to Stockton and see some familiar faces. Got to see Jordan Ford have a crazy night. He had 30 plus. Colby Jones is great. We've talked about his Stockton stats before. Fills it up over there. And Jalen Slauson too. Jalen Slauson is a really, really good G League player. Interesting to see how his kind of career develops. And Mike Brown talked a lot yesterday. Brendan actually asked him in the pregame about just Stockton and G League and how important that is. And talked a lot about how just getting guys ready, getting guys right. I mean, you see Keon played how many minutes for them yesterday? Like Keon's been a really big contributor to them this season. And a large part of that's because he got confidence in Stockton. Last year, we talk about Keon's defense. He led Stockton in scoring last year. And that's where Keon is going to really make his inroads in the NBA. His defense is already crazy good already at an NBA level. The thing that's going to keep him on an NBA roster is he's got to be able to knock down an open 3. And that's kind of what Stockton is for. That's what G League is for, is to kind of develop those skills to get you to an NBA level. And what you do from there is you can be Jordan Poole, you can be Seth Curry. There's tons of success stories. I think even Pascal Siakam, somebody who came from the G League as well. So, it's just it's a really good time out there.
There you go. Pascal Siakam, will it be from the G League to Sacramento? That will be the question as we finally get it done. And we are bringing back Beeman or Dreaming.
Yes.
And I'm going to start with myself.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to spring it on Nate, didn't want to spring it on you. Because this is one of the toughest Beeman or Dreamings.
Definitely.
Right? And I'm going to go on to say it hurts me. And there's a caveat here.
Okay.
But as presently constructed, doesn't even mean that I'm saying there has to be a trade. I'm saying with the way they're going right now, getting to the second round, getting further than they did last season. I could be prisoner of the moment, but that's what this is about as of right now.
Quite literally.
And as of right now, I am snoozing. As of right now, I am dreaming.
Wow. Is that your first one?
This is my first dreaming.
Wow.
When you look at this
Thank God
lineup,
Kyle's not here.
I know the baby music or whatever's going on, the lullabies. Unfortunately, when I look at this team, and I think it wasn't much different last season. I believe Frankie said they're 10-9. I believe Frankie said they were 11-8.
No, they're 11-8 this year.
11-8.
10-9 last year.
Okay, so hey,
Same spot.
not a bad
All
spot to
intents and
be in. A
purposes, same
little different, but this is also a different Western Conference than last
48
season.
wins probably won't get it done again this year.
Doesn't seem like it. And when I look around the roster and specifically the way that the rotation's going right now, TC earlier had something to say about the rotations. There are too many teams, I think. I think I'm just maybe being prisoner of the moment when it comes to the athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
They are so, when you say, yeah, they're built for shooting, you're right.
Yeah.
And all the other teams.
You were right first. I will give you credit on that. The one-dimensional thing, that was.
Yeah.
I didn't want to believe it, but they've definitely turned into very one-dimensional.
And last night was tough because their dimension was good. Right. The thing about
it was for a little until
it wasn't. And then there's no counterpunch with the Kings. So because of that, I don't know, man. You look at if we're really adding the Pelicans to the mix, you have to deal with just teams that you might get in the first round.
Yeah.
Right. You have to, let's say, you have to deal with maybe hopefully not the Nuggets, because that would make you about the 8th.
Right.
Right. So anybody in that between 3 and 6, that could be the Timberwolves, long and athletic.
Mm-hmm.
That could be the Pelicans, long and athletic. That could be the Warriors, who I know the Kings finally beat them, that have had your number. Those are 3 teams that are probably going to be in that category that you could end up facing in the first round. And I think that could be a problem as the roster is presently constructed and as the rotation is presently constructed. So unfortunately, as of right now, I think I'm dreaming. That's not to say I can't be swayed. They go on a run, something like that. But we are going to go through the schedule a little bit later. It does not get any easier for the Kings. So they got to try to come out of here with the least amount of wounds as possible and try to get to that past Christmas mark where they face some softer teams. And they got to win those games, right? I mean, this Monday game, right? This game that they have coming up is going to be tough, right? Whether it's the Lakers or the Suns.
That's Friday. Yes.
And then Monday, you have the back-to-back, right? With the Nets at home, and then you go back to LA to face the Clippers. Yeah. So it's not going to get easier. I think the good thing is these teams are going to continue to beat each other up. So I think you do have more leeway to try to make that run, which makes post-Christmas so important.
Yeah.
But as of right now, unfortunately, I'm dreaming. I don't like the construction. I'm seeing too many other athletic teams.
I'm going to flip this on its head, and I'm going to say I'm beaming because right now I'm dreaming. And I'm going to explain, okay? Layered, I know. Try and keep up.
Okay. I'm with you.
Because right now we're seeing that this team has some clear and obvious flaws, like the fact that there's just no personnel to guard these guys. I think it's early enough in the season to where Monty McNair can do something about it this year. It's not like we're in this limbo period of, I don't know. Sometimes it looks like, we can handle those teams. And sometimes I don't like it just looks like we have absolutely no idea what we're doing. It's clear that this team has a huge hole at that forward spot, whether you want to replace Harrison or just add to the equation. To me, the fact that it's so clear and obvious at the 19 game mark in the season, we'll just call it 20 for round number sake. I think Monty's going to be able to address that issue. And I don't know if it's going to be an OG and a newbie, but I do think that I just have a tough time seeing Monty McNair sit back up through the trade deadline and say, I know we're 0-3 against the Pelicans. I know last year we struggled with length and it doesn't look like we've gotten any better, but I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait until the offseason. I don't know. I can't see Monty McNair thinking like that. And so I think since we've recognized it so early in the season to where it's not just you and me talking about it. It's not just, we're hearing GMs whisper about it. It's everybody. The entire fan base is understanding that there is a clear and obvious gap in this team. I'd be shocked if they don't address it. And so for that reason, I think since we now can kind of acknowledge that, I think a lot of people are more so on the dreaming side than the beaming side just because of the potential matchups you could face in that first round. I kind of think that that's going to lead to them making a move that takes them to that next level. And whether that next level is contention, we'll see. But,
I like it.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you're glad the Kings lost.
No, that is not what I said at all. I don't know how you heard that from what I said.
Because if they won the in-season, let's say they got hot and won the in season.
Yeah, sure.
So you almost lose the battle.
Yes. No,
you almost
that
lose
is what
the
I'm
battle
saying for sure.
to win the war.
Yes. I did not say I'm glad they lost last night, but yes, what I am saying is that I am glad that they're going through struggles now so that they understand or have a better understanding of what their problems are so that it's not so much of a blindsiding when it happens in the postseason. Like I continue to stress that, playoff problems don't just come to fruition in the playoffs. They start in the regular season. Like last year, again, offensive rebounding was a problem in like 3 or 4 different games for the Kings last year. And it was a real problem when they played the Knicks on national TV like a month before the playoffs started. And then that ended up being the death of the team. I don't want a similar thing to happen where you see this clear and obvious problem all season long, and then it ends up killing you in the playoffs, especially when you see it now, you can address it now before it even becomes the greater thing that ends up killing you.
I like it.
Thank you.
I like it. But technically, you're
glad
dreaming.
I landed that plane.
No, you did, but technically, you're dreaming.
Technically, I'm dreaming.
But
because I'm
right
dreaming, subconsciously, I'm also beaming.
You know
Because I
what?
know what it's leading to.
No, I like that.
You know?
I like that. We will get Nate's answer for beaming or dreaming when we get back. Got to get to a break. More Kings talk. We'll get into some Niners talk as well. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL?
Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Yep, 'tis the season. Hi, if you're like me, you take pride in your gift giving. Well, I've got a terrific idea for you. Gift cards from the Good Feet store. Okay, so arch supports aren't exactly what they've been hinting for, but they'd love them. And with the Good Feet lifetime warranty, it's a gift they'll enjoy forever. Buy a Good Feet gift card now, and Good Feet will boost its value 20%. That's a 20% gift free from the Good Feet store. If you have someone on your list who's on their feet all day, has sore feet, knee, hip, or back pain, or even plantar fasciitis, maybe needs an energy boost, or just wants to maintain their active lifestyle, a Good Feet arch support gift card could be the perfect gift.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton & Price in your corner. When you call Ashton & Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit HDK.com.
It's Credit Christmas at Prestigio Jewelers. Get the gifts you want this year. Prestigio guarantees your credit up to $10,000. It's easy. Have a valid ID, proof of income, and be 18 or older. Prestigio has competitive pricing on all jewelry such as gold chains, wedding sets, diamond earrings, and designer brands like Cartier, Gucci, Bulova, and Citizen. Rebuild your credit, even with a repo or a bankruptcy at Prestigio Jewelers. This Christmas, come for the credit and be amazed by the selection at Prestigio Jewelers. Online at prestigiojewelers.com.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-330-2929. That's 800-330-2929. 800-330-2929.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Woo! 12:45. Hope everybody is enjoying their day so far, licking their wounds from the Kings' loss. We were talking about breakfast burritos.
Ooh, yeah.
Yesterday, I did not get one today, but I'm definitely looking at all times. I'm definitely in the market. Thank you for the help on the YouTube chat and the text line as well. Yeah, I'm just trying to immerse myself in all things Sacramento.
Yeah, the Mexican food scene in general is crazy in town. I mean, you're coming from the Bay, and of course, there's tons of good Mexican spots
everywhere.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Anywhere
in California.
In
California.
No, trust me, in Philly, it was a little rough.
That's what I would imagine if I had.
You know what they had? They had like a sit-down Mexican restaurant, but not a taco truck,
right? Not some quick stop stuff.
Yeah, or a burrito. You can get a burrito. It's like, do you want that wet or not? You know what I mean? Like on a plate. Like, no, I just want like a burrito.
Right.
It wasn't popping like that out there. Not just the East Coast, but specifically Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
didn't really have it like that.
I'm hitting one of my Sac specials tonight with some friends for sure.
What is that?
Tank House.
Oh,
what's Tank House?
Barbecue.
So good.
Barbecue.
Okay.
It's man, I think every day they have a different special of tots. They have their own tater tots.
The dirty tots are crazy.
Dirty tots.
They're
and
crazy.
every day they have a different one. They'll have like a taco tot plate or like bolognese plate or whatever. It's different every time. And
bolognese tots?
Yes, yeah, bolognese with the top. Yeah, like on top, dirty. But a lot of times, like the dirty regular ones are like brisket, and I don't want to give them too much free, but I love them. So
they're also open till midnight every night, which is
is this a Sac State? Is this a college thing?
No, it's downtown, like right in the heart of going out.
Yeah, it's close to us. Actually, it's really close to us.
Yeah. TFTI.
Dude, you want to go with me and my friends?
I can't go.
Yeah,
I would appreciate.
No, that would be fun. I would be down there. I didn't know you guys liked me like that.
They going out on a
we already had
Tuesday.
lunch
Wait,
before.
hold
We already
on.
had lunch before.
No, we didn't.
Remember the first day I started here?
Oh yeah, dude, that was the most random thing ever. We haven't talked about this on air.
No.
What happened?
I was doing a football game that night, and you did midday.
Right.
It was your first day. Like after tryouts.
Yeah, one of the first
so
days.
random.
Right, the first
That's a great
day,
spot too.
And I was getting a gyro, right there. Was it K Street or J Street? Which street was that?
I mean, it was off. It was closer to the Capitol. It was off.
Right.
It was in between.
So I don't.
Petra?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't know.
Shout out Petra.
I didn't know what was. I didn't really know names or faces yet. So I'm just, solo bolo in the streets of Sacramento.
There's no way he'd know me. Yeah.
No.
We've never
and
seen
Nate
each other.
rolls up and he's like, Alan Stiles. And of course, me being me, I'm thinking, wow, I'm really making a name out here in Sacramento. That was pretty quick. I'm like waiting to text my friend. Yeah, I told you I was going to take over Sacramento. It only took 2 days. And Nate goes, no, we work together. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I'm
what's up,
going
man?
to be your producer sometimes. Just what a weird, small world that was. That was a weird. thing. And then I was sitting there while your food was going cold, just asking you the dumbest questions. I'm like, tell me about your kid. Tell me about where you lived before. Like, just like every day. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll leave you alone.
I'm like, meanwhile, Alex putting the Sharpie away, like, cool.
Yeah. So do you not want a picture or maybe next time?
Just such a weird thing.
Yeah, so random. But hey, here we are. Look at us.
Yeah, who would have thought we'd
worked out?
Yeah, it really did work out. And Nate, since we're talking to you anyway, right now, are you beaming or dreaming?
I'm gonna stay beaming. I'm gonna stay positive.
Nate,
I love it.
Why not? I mean, why not? It's not looking good, but you go through peaks and valleys, and in a valley right now, and
that's right.
We're in Sacramento, the valley.
Come on.
So
now we're just stating facts.
No, I'm gonna stay positive for a bit longer. It's the Pelicans. They have the Kings number. That's fine. It's fine. We're good right now.
Okay.
We're good right now.
Okay.
This is fine.
I think what happens after these losses is how you come back. And we've seen the Kings do both. We've seen the Kings, for lack of a better term, lay down a bit after they've lost a bad game. And we've seen the Kings really show up.
Right.
So I will be paying attention to the game tonight between Kevin Durant and LeBron James to see who wins that game, because the loser of that game, it will be a battle of, I don't want to say pride, because it's no longer the tournament. Now it's just a normal regular season game.
Yeah.
So I would rather be in the Kings situation to where I know they don't play till Friday, but at least you would have, it's only Tuesday, but you would have a little bit more time to settle in, get over it and settle in on the situation. And it's hard to think about the other. I think one thing about the in-season tournament is it takes away your thought process on how the team was doing previously.
Right.
Because if we were to bring that into the equation, the Kings have actually been playing well.
Mm-hmm.
But because Adam Silver in the NBA has done a good job of positioning this in-season tournament, it doesn't feel like it. No. I mean, this whole show, we've had more positive shows, right? Yeah. So I think that's the NBA doing a really good job. And I'm interested to see if you are a Suns team who obviously their bigger goal is the championship, and definitely the Lakers. Maybe they won't be, the loser of that game won't be as heartbroken as the Kings were, because it would have been nice if
LeBron's definitely not going to let his team get upset about losing.
No, we need to not let this snowball.
Yeah.
and lose another game.
I don't get the heartbrokenness of it. It's the first one. It's like, I guess that's why, because it's the first one, but it's really, I'm just not tripping on it like that. I'm really not. I know it sucks. We have to wait so long, especially like pulling back the curtain. You guys now got to do 3 shows in a row coming off a Kings loss, right? Yeah. That might be part of your depression for the Kings.
We can power through. We can always power through.
But I just don't get being so upset about this tournament. I think the tournament's a little silly. I mean, right now we're not fully used to it, and I'm saying that coming off being ejected from the tournament, but all I care about is playoffs right now, especially after last year.
Yeah, I think this would have been, for like that. We've been talking about how this was going to be tough for the smaller market teams, because if you're the Lakers and the Celtics got bounced from it as well. If you're the Lakers or the Celtics or the Warriors, it's, that's a cute little banner there you got there. But
it's good for Indiana.
It's great for Indiana.
Like they were stoked. I don't know if you watched that. Probably you can't hear the broadcast where you guys were last night, but they were getting so much that the announcers, I forget who it was on TNT, but they were giving, it's the 2K guys. They were giving so much praise to Indiana's fans, saying this was such a playoff environment. They thought it felt like a playoff game entirely. You see Halliburton's dad on the sideline. Right. They kept cutting to him. He was going nuts.
Yeah, he was.
It did feel like playoff energy watching it on the TV. So they have that, but really, who cares? I guess.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, I think I hear you on the heartbreak thing, especially. I don't think anyone is heartbroken is probably too strong of a term. I think it would have been fun. And I think that's the thing that they feel like they're missing out on, is the stage that it would have been and the opportunity that it represents. And I'm more echoing what Sabonis had to say last night. Like, he was more just upset that he kind of felt like this was an opportunity to have all eyes on you, and a lot of people are going to draw conclusions and judgments on your team based on your performance in this tournament, and specifically in Vegas. And you really don't have another opportunity to have a stage like that until the playoffs. So specifically more thinking for a guy like Domas, who let's not forget just got absolutely reamed in terms of his public opinion on him through that playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was kind of looking at this as, well, this is the first really big opportunity that I have almost immediately
To
after
right
the
a wrong.
playoffs.
You could have righted a
to
wrong.
right that
In a
wrong
small
and to
way.
show people, shut up. Like
Yeah.
I got a triple-double last night. I put my team into a situation to get into that in-season tournament. I'm trying to show on a big stage that, hey, I know Tyrese Halliburton's fun, but I'm a player too. Like I think that's really, like, I don't think Sabonis would ever say that, and I don't even know if specifically that's what Sabonis is talking about, but more so just that stage, that opportunity is what I think the Kings specifically were really excited about hopping into, and I think there are a good handful of teams that probably share that sentiment too, but I think that's where the disappointment and in my opinion, you were in the building, Alan. You were in the press conferences. That was like a down locker room.
Yes.
They clearly felt a type of way about losing that game last night.
Yeah, I think that they really wanted it. And like I said, if you really want something, you got to play better, right?
Totally.
And it's only going to get worse for Kings fans. And I only say that based on if you care about public opinion, because that was Tyrese Halliburton's first nationally televised game. So all the hate that you've seen,
sounds insane.
It does sound insane,
That
but it's
sounds
true.
insane.
And so everything that you've seen so far from, oh, you lost this, you lost that.
Yeah, it's kind of just,
if they keep winning, it's only going to kick up even more. And I think the Kings even thought that to a small degree as well. And they thought, hey, at least we can face them head to head and we can do what we need to do. And they didn't get it done.
Yeah. I got to my car yesterday, opened my trunk, opened up Twitter, and the first thing I saw was an NBA, a highly followed NBA page tweeting out, did the Kings trade the wrong point guard? Like, and that's the kind of thing, to your point, this is kind of only the beginning of it.
It's only the
Kings
beginning.
Is because as Tyrese is going to keep putting together crazy performances, I just think this thing is going to get a whole lot louder. And I don't think it's going to get easier for Kings fans to defend their guys after, like you said. I mean, I cannot believe that that's Tyrese's first opportunity with the Pacers on national TV. But as the Vegas stage is going to show, I just think that his star is going to grow.
Yeah, and look, not supposed to worry about that. You got to deal with what you got to deal with. But in terms of the in-season tournament, it was an opportunity that was missed, and you could definitely tell that the Kings felt like that.
Yeah.
Because especially
they wanted it. Like you said, they wanted it.
There's certain teams that are even saying
I think they were kind of embarrassed to say they won. I don't know if embarrassed is the right word.
Who,
but
the Kings?
The Kings. Like it felt like the players. Sabonis, I think, has been pretty open, even in the knock or in the group stage.
Oh, the courts were different. The courts were different.
That's all everybody said. Well, the courts are different, and so that brought a different energy. But like Sabonis was as open as saying, "No, we knew the point spread was 11 that we had to read." Like again, Sabonis, guys, we cannot stress enough.
Yeah.
Domantas Sabonis
He wanted his bad.
really wanted to make Vegas.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, in a weird way, it did feel like they were kind of playing down their interest. And I think it was because they didn't want to be that, again, like we said up at the top of the show, like okay, cute. You guys really have your eyes on the in-season tournament. Well, us big clubs are going to care about the actual things that matter. But yeah, I mean, they clearly felt it last night.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, more Kings talk. And it's time to talk a little bit of Niners as well. As an ESPN analyst, former player, says the 49ers, if healthy, are unbeatable. Is that really news? We'll talk about it. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and all NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
This time of year, big box tool stores start to sell a whole bunch of not tools, from dancing Santas to plastic trees. At Northern Tool and Equipment, we'd rather sell you a 4-horsepower chainsaw fitted with a full chisel chain to cut down your own tree. And we have wood chippers come January, because mulch. We're cutting prices on your favorite brands this holiday season. Save on Milwaukee, Ingersoll Rand, and Metaltech in-store or at northerntool.com.
Get ready for holiday feast season with Pepto-Bismol.
Uncle Derek's here with his famous fried turkey. Hey, Aunt Mary brought the mac and cheese. Donna's here with the potato salad.
Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief for unexpected stomach upsets. So enjoy the holidays. Pepto has you covered, no matter who made the potato salad.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto-Bismol. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Yep, that trailer hitch and folding bed cover from Truckmart makes road trips a breeze.
Right? I'm so much more organized on the job site since Truckmart installed my truck rack and toolbox.
And they had it all in stock, so I just waited as they installed everything.
Take a look at this sweet Rhino truck lining. They sprayed it on.
Yeah, you win. That is sweet.
Trucksmart, truck and SUV accessories for on the road and the job site. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Rockland or Auburn. Trucksmart.com. Your truck's gonna love them.
I always approach the holidays with a sense of excitement and a time to be with family. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa for Naturewood Home Furnishings. For me, the best times were when there were 3 generations all celebrating together. Today, we're the grandparents, and the holiday spotlight shines on my grandson. And I hope he'll remember holidays the way his papa does. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create your own kind of holiday memories during their holiday home sale. Unique gifts found only at Naturewood, like hall trees, curios, chairside tables, and more, are available at savings of 20% off. During Naturewood's holiday home sale, you'll find savings all around the store for every room in your home. Find your perfect bit of Christmas for your home at Naturewood Home Furnishings holiday home sale going on right now. The memories you make with your family will live with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Mercedes-Benz of Stockton warmly suggests that you add a Mercedes to your holiday shopping list this year. With finance rates as low as 4.99% APR or 72 months on sedans, SUVs, and all-electric Mercedes cars, it's a great time to visit Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Just 45 minutes from Sacramento, right off I-5. Family-owned Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, where we make buying your Mercedes a special event you'll never forget. mbofstockton.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. There's a new duo in the midday.
Dynamic.
Is that what they said?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so. That's one of our drops. There you go. I haven't heard that one. We got to get that one.
I played this song for you guys, 2 America's Most Wanted.
That's
You
right.
guys.
The bad boys of the midday.
Yep. That's what they're calling you.
Yeah.
I
been
was at
called.
Winco last night. Someone stopped me and they're like, "Wait, didn't you produce for the Bad Boys midday today?" I'm like, "Can't answer that. Sorry, pal."
Yeah.
Classified
Sorry, pal.
information.
Put my hood on, kept walking.
Yeah. Talk to my lawyer.
Yeah.
You don't mention the midday.
No, not the Bad
First
Boys.
rule about midday: don't talk about midday. Shh. There you go. The Bad Boys of the midday, taking you up
Streets
to
are
2
talking.
p.m. There you go.
Everyone at Winco.
Everyone at Winco
stopping me,
getting some cheese,
Yeah.
some salami.
We got some cheese and salami and carrots.
You should
today.
get everything at Winco. Winco is
cheese,
That's the
salami,
place to
and
grocery shop.
secrets. That's what it's all about.
That's my memoir, actually. That's funny.
Yeah,
that you-
it's also a podcast somewhere. I can
Yeah.
guarantee you that much. 916-339-1140. Let's get out to Doug that wants to talk some Kings. Last night it was looking more like the Kings. Sorry, Doug, didn't want to say it. How you doing? What you got for us, Stiles and Watkins?
Well, tell you what. First off, I've called before and stuff, and I just love being able to get on the phone and talk with you guys because you really do sports. And I'm gonna tell you one thing: don't leave to go to ESPN. I turned that crap off years ago. So you guys give the local flavor. You talk about things that are important, and that's why I listen to you guys. And that part is really wonderful to me because I can go through the TV and just go click, 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 and I just keep turning the channel. So I really appreciate what you guys do.
Well, thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Doug. Appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, man. You get what you deserve.
Thank
you. That's what I say about that. Regarding the Kings and stuff, you guys already have nailed it. There's teams that you play really well against, and you go on, and we got those guys' number, and they don't match up well with us. Well, there's teams out there that we don't match up well with either. And it's not an excuse; it's a reality. And then when you're trying to go in and find guys that fit our style, we're trying to run, and tempo is everything to us. Well, you're going to give stuff up to get that. And if you believe you can only outscore teams, that's what you're going to have. If you believe you want to get to knock down, drag out, hey, let's punch you in the face kind of thing, that's not us, not yet. So that's what I have, and I just wanted to just tell you that I believe in the Kings. I've been following since 1989. I stay. My heart stays with locally with the team where I live. So that's why I'm a Kings guy. Good, bad, or ugly, that's who I am. So thank you. Have a continued great show. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it. Keep calling in. That was good stuff.
Anytime.
When we talk about the Kings defense and having the requisite parts to defend and how the Kings have looked better, has it really just been I'm trying to think now about the games where it feels like they've really turned it up a notch, right? And hasn't it been just against teams that aren't long and athletic, right? Do they look like the same team they looked like last season defensively against teams that gave them trouble last season defensively, right? They're better.
Yeah.
Their effort might be better, but maybe you are hitting that ceiling to where, they're defending better, and that's why they're ranked a little bit higher than they were last season because they're doing better against the teams where they can compete with on the defensive end. But the teams that have been a problem for them are just simply still a problem for them.
Yeah, I think that's a really great way of putting it because it does feel like they still haven't fixed that problem that still existed from last year, but they've definitely improved in some areas. I mean, the defense, like you said, I think perfectly. The improvement on the defensive end has made it so it kind of shores up maybe some of those fringe losses or 50-50 games. Because last year it felt like it was truly offense is going to do well today, and if the offense does well, they're going to win the game. And if it doesn't go to their max capacity of offense, then they're probably not going to win. And this year with the defense, they've been able to shore up some of those games, tighten it up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you're still seeing, they really still even haven't lost too many teams this year. They've lost to Golden State twice. They've lost to the Rockets twice. They've now lost to the Pelicans 3 times, and they've lost to the Clippers. That's it. That's still their only losses on the season. So yeah, I mean, it's tough to go back and forth on, is there something fundamentally wrong? Or like you said, is it just that length problem that is their kryptonite? And there is, as there tends to be with kryptonite, there's not really an answer for it. It just is their weakness, and they cannot address anything that has to do with that weakness. It kind of feels like that's what it is. I mean, it does feel like this team, like you said, they're able to rise to the occasion and beat really good teams. The fact that they've taken out Denver and Dallas and Minnesota, even though they weren't healthy. And, to me, I still think they looked the best in that little 2-game stretch against OKC and against Cleveland at home. Like, they've beaten really good opponents. It just, to your point, like, it feels like there is this type of team that they can put a good effort against, maybe, but they just don't have an overall answer to ultimately solve that problem or make that problem less of a problem.
Yeah, and that brings us all the way back to the Jose Alvarado conversation.
Oh gosh.
Because with all the length that we've been talking about, and I'm always gonna shout out the little guy here on this show, my Zonts. I'm always gonna do it because with all the length that we're talking about, without the smallest guy on that Pelican team, the Kings probably win. I think without Jose Alvarado, I think that quarter ends and the Kings are still up 10. I think that you said it yourself. You said, okay, Brandon Ingram hit a mid-range on the baseline, and I think you kind of said to me, you said, okay, now they're in rhythm now.
Yeah.
So Jose Alvarado, basically that was a game that the Pelicans were supposed to lose.
Yeah.
If you do a different dimension, I'm almost done with Loki on Disney Plus, right? On a different timeline, the Pelicans don't have Jose Alvarado. The Kings come out, blow their doors off in the first quarter, and the Pelicans just can't come back. They don't have the horses.
Yeah.
But that's why you construct your roster in a certain way. And Jose Alvarado comes in the game and essentially erases that first quarter.
Yeah. He was their Malik Monk last night. He just did it in a different way.
Yeah. He erased the whole first quarter, which gave the whole Pelicans team life and said, okay, cool. We just played terribly and we can just redo that now and start all over. And on top of that, we're playing a Kings team now who's shook because their fans were rocking. We just took them out the game, or Jose just took them out the game. Now we get a mulligan in the first quarter and get to come back and give you that work and start from scratch and see what we can do. And now the Kings are on their heels because they thought we were just not that they thought we were going to cruise, but okay, cool. This is going to be a game where let's just keep them at bay. And you blinked and they were up by 1 at the end of the first. And it felt like the longest first quarter in the history of the NBA.
It was a really weird first quarter. It felt like there was 3 different quarters in that one quarter where, the Kings kind of took the lead and then Jose checks in and kind of turns it around and then makes it within reaching distance. And then all of a sudden by the end of the quarter, it's a 1-point game and everyone's looking around. I think and it ends with the tip as well. Isn't that?
Yeah.
That was at the end of the first quarter,
there was
right?
an and one.
Right.
Because they were still up. They were still up.
Yeah.
They were still up 7 or something like that.
Yeah.
And in the last second, I forget what happened. Somebody missed on the Kings end. They had the super random. He throws it high off the glass.
Right. That
goes in. And then I believe he missed the free throw.
Yep.
And then they tip it.
Right. So it's like a 6-point swing or whatever in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that game was completely flipped on its head. I give Jose Alvarado tons of credit. He was a +10 in the ± in that first quarter. And then also, you mentioned, I talked about throwing the Kings out of rhythm with Jose. That first quarter shot the lights out from 3, 7 of 11 from 3 at the end of the first quarter. I'm going to read off every other quarter after that. So first quarter, 7 of 11 from 3. Second quarter, they go 1 of 7 from 3. The following quarter, they go 4 of 12 from 3. And then in the fourth, they go 2 of 11 from 3. So he just completely, they never found that rhythm after. It was a game of catch up. And I mean, that's where you see, like has been talked about mainly with Keegan, but I think you see it as a team when they start to have to play defense at a high level. That's when the offense falls off a little. Like at the beginning of the game, you can go all gas, no brakes on offense. You can try and put together a 45-point first quarter to the point where the Pelicans just can't ever come back, and you never have to go full tilt defensively. Well, to your point and what you laid out there, the Kings were doing that, and then all of a sudden, it out of nowhere, and then that last 3 quarters all of a sudden turned into, well, you have to win those 3 quarters, and it turned into, the Pelicans just absolutely dominated. They won every single quarter after that, and never really looked back. So, and really the game was won in the second quarter. That second quarter, again, it felt like all the momentum went from being completely on the Kings side to then with that tip at the end of the first quarter, all the momentum.
I think
went
everybody
to the
was
Pelicans.
shook.
Yeah,
I was shook.
It felt like it. The entire arena, it was silent. Like it was quiet in that arena for really like the first 3 to 4 minutes of that second quarter.
Jose Alvarado.
Jose.
Grand Theft Alvarado. Got to get to a break. When we get back, former player, ESPN analyst says a healthy 49ers team is unbeatable. Is he wrong? That and more. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Breaking down all things Kings. Pellies. They went Pellies on you.
Yeah.
Last night. They took care of business.
Yeah. They
so do you do this? I know this isn't, and we talked about it a little bit when it was Warriors Kings, but the Pelicans lose now. Do you root for the Pelicans to win the whole thing and feel like, hey, we lost to the champs? If it wasn't for the Pelicans, we would have won it.
Oh, that's a great question. Who's the Kings fan rooting interest at this point? I mean, I think there's
I can tell you who it's not.
No, I think that there's going to be a good, healthy portion of Kings fans that might say, okay, Tyrese, like I can root for Tyrese.
Really?
I think so.
Well, not the Lakers.
That's the thing.
For
Yeah,
sure.
not the Lakers.
And probably not the Celtics, right?
Well, Celtics are out of it now.
Celtics are done,
excuse me. Yeah,
so not the Suns either, though. Like you're not going to root for either of the two other West teams. Like you're not going to root for the Lakers for sure.
Right.
Suns, I guess you could. The Kings-Suns rivalry doesn't really exist, but still a division rival. On the East side, I mean, I don't think there's many Bucks ties here or anything. Knicks, maybe you could root for in the sense of, hey, they're kind of, like a bizarro Kings where they also haven't had success in a long time, but they're
like a giant market.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's like the counter
that's
of
a good point.
Smallest market to like probably the biggest. But if I had to guess, like if we're doing the pie, I would say probably 35 to 40%, I would say, are rooting for the Pacers. People love Tyrese Halliburton. I don't think they like the conversation around Tyrese Halliburton, but Tyrese Halliburton, the individual, people loved him here.
Okay.
Buddy Hield might decrease. Like
Right.
you might be losing 5 to 10% with Buddy being on that roster, but I think for the most part, people like Tyrese. Plus, it's a really similar system to what the Kings ran last year.
So no one is rooting for the Pelicans, huh? We lost to the eventual champs.
I think no, I don't think so. I think if you lose to a team 3 times, though, I guess, you could maybe at least throw the silver lining of, we lost to the defending in-season tournament champions. So I guess maybe that's, if that means anything to anybody, I guess.
Yeah. All right. I was just thinking here.
What do you think? So the worst matchup in terms of what Adam Silver would be rooting for in terms of general population interest has to be Pelicans Pacers at this point, right? Because obviously if the Knicks are in it,
you have Halliburton and
of course.
That's what's so funny
great about the NBA though.
That's what's so funny to me because as someone who, my mom spent some years in New York, and like, I never really, hey, when the Knicks are good, it's good for basketball. I don't have that in me.
Yeah.
When the Raiders are good, it's good for football. And they can say that about there's so many teams you can say that
Yankees,
about.
Dodgers.
Right.
Yeah.
It's good.
Red Sox. Yeah.
Because if I'm, as someone who doesn't, have any ties really to New York or anything like that, maybe I'm alone on this, on the other side of, and maybe it's something with California and New York being the coast, and there's a little bit of, I don't think a rivalry, but it's just East Coast, West Coast, Tupac, RIP, all that. I don't know. But all I'm saying is that I would be more inclined, based on what I saw last night, to watch whoever versus the Pacers than whoever and the Knicks.
I agree. I definitely agree, because I don't think the Knicks-ness of it, I don't think the New Yorkness of it is going to pull a lot of Sacramentans into watching
it does not move me.
TNT on a Friday night or on a Saturday, I think it's going to be at 5:00 our time. I don't think so. Yeah, I think if the NBA is looking for, because even Milwaukee's been a pretty boring team up to this point this year. Like, I don't know how much Milwaukee would even, move the needle a lot. I think, of course, from the national perspective, you do get the star power of Giannis and Dame, and
Dame has not been good.
No, he has not. He has not been excellent. He wouldn't be on an all-NBA list if the season ended today. I think the Pacers, in a weird way, actually probably are the best story on that side of the bracket for the NBA to root for, because then you also get the, hey, small markets, this is something to try and aspire for. Like, this is, I think the NBA, again, like we said earlier, I think some teams might be afraid of that label to say, oh, okay, cool, you won an in-season tournament, doesn't mean anything. But I think the NBA at the same time would love it if the Atlanta Hawks of the world and the Orlando Magic of the world really try and make this in-season tournament. It has to mean something for somebody, and I think it would be a good representation of the NBA if the team like the Pacers, a young team that has some star power, wins it in a small market as well, to show this thing does have some value. On the West side, at this point, of course, the NBA wants the Lakers. That's really what it is. You really don't even need to have much of a conversation. The NBA wants LeBron James in this in-season tournament final.
There you go. Well, hopefully, if you're rooting for Halliburton, they truck along.
Yeah.
And speaking of, it is time for our Truckmart
doesn't get better than that
drive of the week, brought to you by Truckmart, your premium retailer and installer of truck and SUV accessories for over 30 years. Your trucks, gonna love them. And we have a special edition of the Truckmart Drive of the Week. And the special edition is that all of the drives come from one game, Chris Watkins.
Yeah, and you might also recognize another theme here, but we'll get to that when it becomes a little bit more obvious. The first one, we've got we usually, I don't even throw in a Niners highlight into this. It's happened, whether it be a 60-yard Ayuk touchdown or a 60-yard George Kittle touchdown. Y'all had to guess that this week we were going to at least squeeze in one of Deebo Samuel's touchdowns. Yes. And first and foremost, the dude was just taking the ball and running with it, quite literally, starting off with this slant that he took all the way to the house. I believe this is the 0.1% chance that he had to score, and Deebo Samuel, he did just that. He scored.
1st and 10 Niners in the Philly 48. Purdy looks left, now middle, throws, caught. Broken tackle by Deebo Samuel, runs for the first down, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! San Francisco!
What an absolute beast, Deebo Samuel. The throw is on time. It's Deebo Samuel. He is working a crossing route over the middle of the field. Nick Morrow just bounces off 19. Deebo says, I'm going north and south. I am going to hit the gas pedal, and just carries Darius Slay into the end zone.
I don't think I've ever seen him run faster.
Just absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Just the touchdown run itself, it was such a Deebo run. It was so perfect. I mean, just shout out Deebo Samuel for an incredible game, and definitely hope to recognize that in this Truckmart drive of the game. That is Deebo Samuel taking a slant to the house. Next up on the list, tons of great touchdowns this week, but this one just really felt like it had to be on the list. We're gonna go with Deebo Samuel again, taking this. Of course, that was a slant, and that's already tough enough to take to the house. How about a screen? How's that sound to you? This is actually how it sounded to you.
Deebo Samuel is loose. Touchdown! San Francisco, the Deebo dash.
What a play call. Quick perimeter screen out to the left. Quick snap. Debo's waving bye-bye to this Philadelphia crowd.
This guy's pretty good, huh? This guy's pretty good.
Pretty decent.
Yes.
I would definitely say so. So got to the end zone so quick that Papa didn't even really have time to set it up. He was just like, oh, and Deebo takes and he's gone into the end zone. Touchdown.
Did he only have 2, Chris? Is that kind of what
I
the
thought so?
situation was?
Yeah, I'm looking at Deebo's stats right now. It says passing touchdowns, receiving touchdowns. He had 2. Yeah, he had 2 receiving touchdowons. So that's it.
So no more on the Truckmart then.
No, that's it for Deebo Samuel with his receiving touchdowns. Truckmart drive of the week. Those were Deebo Samuel receiving touchdowns. We can't just do receiving touchdowns, right? We have to try and get a run in there, of course, like running backs. We talked all offseason long about the running back struggle and how they don't get enough attention. So Truckmart drive of the week, we've got to include a run, right? Well, how about this Deebo Samuel reverse for a touchdown on Sunday? And this was just Deebo being this is like throwback Deebo almost, just taking the run into the house.
On the Philly 12-yard line. Ayuk goes in long motion left. It's Eli Mitchell now in, but it's an end around to Deebo Samuel coming right, turns the corner, and goes into the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco!
What a play to catch a defense that's trying like heck to make a play. Misdirection, reverse. Reddick takes the bait the whole way.
Oh, man. Tim Ryan just has the most fun, I think, of anybody on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Dude. Yeah. He
loves his job.
The audio for the someone online cut the TV highlights with the radio highlights, and the call he did on the Lenore hit on Swift was just I mean, it's a brutal hit, but he's like, I saw that coming a mile away because off screen Lenore comes in and just crushes him.
Man.
For me, it's either the first or the third.
Is it because of Tim Ryan? Because Tim Ryan makes 1 and 3 for me on the call.
Probably. Let's go with.
I like the first one. I like the slant.
Yeah.
I'm personally, I'm going to take my vote. I'm going to say that slant route for a touchdown, that was special. That was when it was like, that was the nail in the coffin. That was the, y'all, this is not just like, we didn't just blow you guys out. We came, we saw, we conquered, and y'all shut up forever.
Yeah.
The comeback after they scored to kind of the Jalen Hurts step. I will say Ronnie Bell may have gotten away with the little hold on.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
I'm trying to be a little unbiased here.
There you go. Play it, Nate. That's the winner.
Play number 1.
The slant.
Well, that number 1 slant was pretty impressive, wasn't it?
It was. It was pretty good.
If you had to say just one more great thing about it, what would it be?
It was Deebo being Deebo.
Yeah.
When you can.
When the weather's changing.
Gosh.
First and 10 Niners in the Philly 48. Purdy looks left, now middle, throws, caught. Broken tackle by Deebo Samuel, runs for the first down, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! San Francisco!
What an absolute beast, Deebo Samuel. The throw is on time. It's Deebo Samuel. He is working a crossing route over the middle of the field. Nick Morrow just bounces off 19. Deebo says, I'm going north and south. I am going to hit the gas pedal, and just carries Darius Slay into the end zone.
I don't think I've ever seen him run faster.
Oh,
it was Deebo weather.
It was Deebo weather. That was your Truckmart drive of the week. Brought to you by Truckmart, your premium retailer and installer of truck and SUV accessories for over 30 years. Your truck's going to love them. Got to get to a break. When we get back, more Niners talk, more Kings talk. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis, put the frosting on the cake, put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush makes it 114-106.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Pro Paint Days are back for MVP's Pro Rewards members at Lowe's. Now through December 15th, you can earn 10% back in paint rewards via Lowe's e-gift card when you spend $100 or more on qualifying paint purchases. Plus, save $10 on a new and exclusive 5-gallon pail of HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Drywall PVA Primer and Sealer. Lowe's knows paint. Lowe's knows pros. Offers valid 12/4 through 12/15. Exclusions, restrictions, and more terms apply. See Lowe's.com/L/pro loyalty terms. Subject to change.
Boost Mobile is giving families the holiday gift they really want. When you switch to Boost, get an iPhone 11 for only $49.99 or a free Samsung Galaxy A23. You'll get amazing service too, because only Boost switches between the top networks to give you the best service. So stop by a Boost Mobile store and give the gift of Boost. That's an iPhone 11 for $49.99 or a free Samsung Galaxy A23. Get yours at a Boost Mobile store today. Visit boostmobile.com for details. New customers and in-store only. Requires auto pay and ID verification. Other restrictions apply. See participating dealers for details.
Visit Boot Barn for savings on top quality holiday gifts this week only. We're offering $40 off exotic cowboy boots and up to $40 off select leather western boots. Our holiday specials this week also include 25% off select outerwear, western shirts, flannels, and jeans. Additionally, we're offering savings on children's outerwear and denim. Visit us this week and save on gifts for the whole family. Boot Barn, unwrap the West.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Yep, 'tis the season. Hi, if you're like me, you take pride in your gift giving. Well, I've got a terrific idea for you. Gift cards from the Good Feet store. Okay, so arch supports aren't exactly what they've been hinting for, but you know they'd love them. And with the Good Feet lifetime warranty, it's a gift they'll enjoy forever. Buy a Good Feet gift card now and Good Feet will boost its value 20%. That's a 20% gift free from the Good Feet store. If you have someone on your list who's on their feet all day, has sore feet, knee, hip, or back pain, or even plantar fasciitis, maybe needs an energy boost, or just wants to maintain their active lifestyle, a Good Feet Arch Support gift card could be the perfect gift.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports. We will be joined by the Drive Guys.
Actually, though,
in 15 minutes. It's been a long time. Shouldn't have left you. without a trip to Japan to step to. Because Whitey Gleason is back. Saw him at the game last night. Had a lot to say. He's still the same Whitey Gleason, if anybody was wondering.
Didn't change.
Has not changed a bit, and that's why we love him. As we take you up to 2 p.m. here on the 916, Chris. Is this year's team better than last year's team, Kings team, or what? Is it too early to entertain that question? Because so far, it looks like at best we're the same team, and the rest of the West got significantly more deep, which essentially means we got worse.
I don't know. I feel like, and I'm trying to remember my feelings on this team at this point last year. I mean,
10-9.
Right.
11-8 this season.
It feels like if I had to guess a difference of, again, like I'm just trying to remember where I was last year, but just putting the pieces together, like it probably felt like at this point last year, we felt more positively about the team because it was new.
Expectations are different.
Yeah, expectations are different. And I think their style of play was that was so fun and explosive that I don't think we really ever fully questioned if it was here to stay or if it was going to be long-term lasting. I think a lot of people were just like, this is awesome. How many games can they win? How awesome is this going to get?
Right.
This year, to me, it feels like this team is, to your point, to the texter's point, it does feel similar, like they're in a similar spot. But I would say the difference is this year, it doesn't feel like the Kings have played a complete basketball game. Like
this
it doesn't,
year.
Yeah, like it hasn't really felt like they've played a game where they would say, that's exactly what we want to do on the offense. And maybe that's the closest it's looked because, yeah, there was that was like the portion of the season where it felt like every day we were coming in and saying best win of the year, best win of the year.
Right.
Probably around that period of time, it might have been the Cleveland game, might have been the OKC game. That's probably the closest they've been. But even then, if I remember correctly, those were games where Keegan was still in his, Keegan and Kevin haven't clicked in the same game. Right. You haven't had, HB give you 12 in a game where everybody is also getting 17 and 20-point performances. You haven't had, the bench really contribute all double score figures or anything like that. It feels like there's still another level for this team to go to, which is exciting, but it's also a little frustrating because through 20 games, again, it doesn't really feel like they've put many. Of course, perfect performances isn't something that you can do every game, but it doesn't feel like they've played a similar style of basketball for like 4 or 5 games in a row, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's dependent so much on their shots falling that it's, again, like how much of it is it's your night versus it just not. Like it doesn't feel like there's any happy medium. It doesn't feel like, feels like the Kings rarely shoot 37, 38% from three. It's either 35 or it's 44%, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like they haven't found a realistic, consistent play that they can take game in, game out.
Yeah. And I think expectations is a huge thing. You had Keegan as a rookie last season. So nobody really expected him. Nobody knew what to expect from Keegan Murray. You had De'Aaron Fox who, still getting used to no Halliburton.
Right.
What is this guy going to do? Same with Sabonis.
All those guys Malik was new last year. Kevin was new last year.
Mike Brown,
biggest one of all.
So you had, I think that you were just happy with whatever happened, as long as you weren't losing. And let's see how far we can take this thing. Now, I think to the texter's point, to 916's point, the West. I think the West is better than last season.
Yeah,
I
think so. I think so.
Maybe I think
it's collectively better.
Yeah, maybe we're overdoing it a little bit because remember at the beginning, because the Kyrie trade hadn't happened yet.
No, that happened at the deadline.
Kyrie trade hadn't happened yet.
KD trade. KD and Kyrie and James Harden were all still in Brooklyn at this point.
They were in the Eastern Conference. Yeah. So they are all now in the West.
Right.
Gosh. So to that point, yes. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse, right? And I think a scary thing and scary way to ask this is, as far as the texter is concerned, where have the Kings gotten better this season? And the only thing you could say is effort on defense.
Yeah.
Which clearly does not help you if you were just outmanned anyway.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, yes. But I would say that I was gonna try and defend the, but it's like, because that's
early.
not, yeah,
It's
you weren't trying to make a point. Yeah.
No, it was 19 games in,
Yeah.
but if you were to compare this team to last season's team and say, okay, this is what I'm seeing, but we haven't seen, here's the problem. We have not seen the jump from Keegan yet.
Mm-hmm.
We have.
That's exactly correct. Yep.
You know, that's a big one, right? We haven't seen the jump from Keegan.
We've seen a jump from De'Aaron, which has been huge. I mean, I think that's why they're at a similar record, is because he has taken a leap that has definitely won them. I don't know how many games you want to give it, but it's been 3 or 4 games where De'Aaron, being the best player on the floor, has kind of won them the game.
Could you even say that you've seen a jump from Malik?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, maybe a more consistent, more consistency from him. I mean, I think I haven't checked it myself, so maybe I shouldn't throw it out there.
He pulled up from the logo last night.
Yeah, I mean, him and De'Aaron have combined for like 50 or 40 points in 5 straight games or something like that. Like, he's been a lot more consistent, and it feels like you feel his impact a lot more this year. Maybe he's getting more minutes, but it really feels like Malik has taken a leap as well. Like, he's been the second best player overall this season on this Kings team, I think, or at least impactful. I would say, yeah, Malik has probably been the guy more nights than not that shows up.
I would say Sabonis is a wash, right? I think
in terms of this first, I would say he's probably taking a step back over last year. Yeah, I think he was really, really good last year.
Yeah,
like he was career highs just across the board last year, and so naturally, you know, it's hard for. I think Sabonis even said it in his post game yesterday. Last year, it wasn't just Sabonis who had career years. Everybody had the year of their career last year, from Malik to Kevin to Sabonis to, you know, I think even De'Aaron to a certain extent had the best year of his career, efficiency wise, without a doubt. That's hard to build on. Like that's hard to replicate as well. So they were naturally going to take a dip on that sense this year, but I think that's where the improvement in defense comes along and kind of, I think, like you said, just kind of average it, you know, levels everything out to a certain extent. So, yeah, I mean, it's a great point, though. Where have the Kings gotten better this year? It's really only defense. And, I mean, maybe you could say overall depth, like you're not having to try and steal minutes from Chimezie Metu and Rashawn Holmes and, you know, even Terrence Davis. TD gave you good minutes some nights, but, you know, I think the Kings' overall depth is probably better this year, but, you know, it hasn't really shown it every single night.
And that's why, Monty McNair, you get paid the big bucks, because there's something that needs to happen. I don't know what, right? Or maybe it's Mike Brown. Maybe that's why you're reigning coach of the year. Maybe it's you, and maybe is it Sasha? Who is it that can just give you a little bit more?
Yeah.
And going back to the whole questions that you're getting over and over again, we don't ask questions when the Kings win. Right.
Correct.
But if we did, Harrison Barnes would definitely still be on the bench.
He would.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Or be on the bench, not still, would be on the bench, because he would be getting tired of it. So you avoid that conversation, because no one's going to ask a negative question after a win.
Right.
But
it's not
how many times have they won? I don't want to say in spite of Harrison Barnes, but how many times have they won and without Harrison Barnes doing XYZ, they lose?
10 times. 10 times this year.
No, I'm saying without Harrison Barnes. Or I'm saying,
yeah.
If you were to take away,
I'm saying the only game that Harrison Barnes really impacted, in my opinion, the results of the game
was the Jazz.
Was game 1.
Yeah.
Was game 1. And besides that, I mean, I would have to look back at every single box score, but I mean, for the most part, yeah. I mean, it feels like he, even in wins, is a guy that you're just wanting a little bit more from. Not necessarily like he's not showing up every single night, but more times than not, you're looking at his performance and it's like, okay, yeah, Kevin Huerter scored 27, De'Aaron scored 30, Sabonis gave 25, Keegan 12, Harrison 8.
Yeah.
Okay, like we won and we needed those 8 points for sure, but you know, yeah, that's just kind of the feeling that you get more times than not.
And I just don't think this is the same as, as somebody said, well, De'Aaron wasn't playing well, so let's bench him. That's different. the difference of benching De'Aaron and benching Harrison, that's quite different. Got to get to a break. When we get back, crosstalk, Kyle Draper and Whitey Gleason, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's that time of year again. Sactown Sports is welcoming Santa back to town for the 40th annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 9th in downtown Sacramento. Grab the family and join us as we celebrate Santa's arrival with marching bands, superheroes, cheer squads, and more. Parade starts at 10 a.m. at 14th and N. We'll see you Saturday, December 9th in downtown for the Santa Parade with Western Health Advantage, Huff Home Services, and the California National Guard. Get more information at SactownSports.com.
This segment is brought to you by Light the World Giving Machine.
This holiday season, Good Guys Heating and Cooling is turning up the warmth and spreading joy with our Toys for Tune-Ups promotion. Schedule your tune-up or troubleshooting appointment, and with a donation of a new unwrapped toy at the time of your service, we'll waive the fee. It's our way of giving back and making a difference in the lives of local children who might not have the Christmas that every child deserves. All toys will benefit Children's Hope, a wonderful local foster charity right here in Sacramento. Call Good Guys Heating and Cooling at 530-GOOD-AIR to schedule your appointment, or book online at goodguysheatingcooling.com. Happy holidays from the Good Guys family. License number 1057-618.
Red Hawk Resort Casino is an entertainment experience like no other. We're the only place where you can play blackjack, then hop on an indoor kart track. We're the only place with more than 2,000 of the hottest slots and a state-of-the-art 18-lane bowling center. And now with a world-class sports bar and a resort hotel to stay after you play. Is it any wonder we've been voted best over 100 times? We're Red Hawk Resort Casino, official casino partner of the Sacramento Kings.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install the new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Joined by the Drive Guys. Whitey Gleason is back. Whitey, how was your trip? Did you even get to do any of that talk? When I tuned in, by the time I got to my car from leaving the show, you guys were already getting after it. Did you even share any information on your trip? Okay.
Here and there. You know, I didn't want to, like I said, I didn't want to bore people with my vacation slideshow or anything like that. It was pretty amazing though. Pretty cool. Guy that I bought a Japanese league hat from said Shohei's going to the Dodgers. So there you go.
Well, that's the three
Inside
that's
source.
left, right? The Giants, the Blue Jays, and the Dodgers, and maybe they're all smoke screens because we know he wants to win. I was talking to Chris about just the passion that you saw and heard in his voice during the World Baseball Classic. And unfortunately, if you want to be a contender every single season, and I don't think it helps, honestly, that the Dodgers lost.
Right.
So he can kind of Kevin Durant it and say, well, they didn't.
Sure.
They didn't win the whole thing, right? Maybe you could use me. So yeah, we're probably tricking ourselves into thinking that he wants to be with the Giants. I don't really know why he would want to be with the Giants, but he did follow those Giants on social media in Casey Schmidt and Logan Webb. Does it mean anything? I think we're going to find out pretty soon.
The Casey Schmidt one I don't get, but it's also possible that I didn't ask the guy who sold me the hat anything close to what I thought I asked him. Yeah. That's also possible too.
So you were trying to speak Japanese.
I was, because I've studied it a little bit when I was in college, but it's a whole different thing when people are actually speaking it rather than sitting there with your book. Watashi wa,
right,
it's like,
right.
Hey, hold on.
Yeah, hold on.
It was very educational. I guess that's the best way to learn, but I'm gonna have to go back if I'm gonna
trial by fire.
Okay,
I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
If I'm gonna be a Japanese language baseball announcer, I gotta love it.
You got time.
I can see that for you.
You got time.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you got time. So you let Drapes have it last night about the Eagles. I mean, they got whooped.
I got to tell you, I was really impressed with him because I wasn't here last week. Of course, I didn't know all of what he'd said, but I knew that we had kind of a general agreement that the loser, if you will, was going to wear the other team's jersey. But I didn't know if we really nailed that down. So I thought, well, do I bring it up? What do we do? And he came in, as you know. Well, you don't know because we didn't do the crossover. But he came in doing the
some light shade there. There was just slightest.
He came in doing the wearing the Brock Purdy jersey that he bought on his own. So that was
wow.
Yeah, that was
there. You
pretty
go.
cool.
You got Brock MVP
right now. Yeah, right now, sure. But there's a lot of pizza left in that box.
Is there though?
5 games, yeah. And I mean,
Jalen Hurts lost an MVP last year. This stretch of games, being hurt last year.
And it's maybe here's what the way I see it. The only way Brock Purdy doesn't win MVP is if he gets outplayed by Lamar, and if Dak Prescott handles I don't even know if they can just barely beat the Eagles after we just saw what the Niners did. Dak Prescott is going to have to handle the Eagles this weekend and then essentially run the table. Whoever loses first probably loses it. Is how I see it. I think Jalen's done.
If something were to happen with, similar to what we saw with the 49ers, Trent Williams and McCaffrey, and I hope it doesn't happen, and there's no reason to think it will, but if it did, and then Brock all of a sudden has to try to do more like we saw in that 3-game losing streak, he's going to take more chances, get loose with the ball, and then he probably would not win the MVP. That's true. So we'll see. Right now, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Hopefully not.
That's true.
Whitey, we were having a pretty big conversation before the show. I think it was yesterday between the three of us here. Do you think that 49er fans really care about this MVP conversation?
No, because they're so focused on.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be a nice feather in the cap.
Yeah.
Also, I think the 49er fan base, I don't know what you think, Alan. I know you worked there a long time.
Right.
To a degree, they're also split on exactly what Purdy is. And I think it's more like 75-25 now. But even a lot of the faithful were not totally sold on Brock Purdy.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
And are still, I think there's still some that are like, well, we can win with them, but boy, I don't know.
I think it's
fewer and
definitely
fewer, but I think there's.
I think it's definitely dwindling.
Yeah.
I think whether, and there are people, his yak yards are less than Mahomes when he won. Sure. I'm not great. That's all fine and dandy. I think the bottom line is that we have not seen Brock look like this missing. He has the most pieces, and when he misses one, it's a problem, right? Jalen Hurts beat the Chiefs without Dallas Goedert and the Bills without Dallas Goedert. So it's not a matter of, to me, he has too many weapons. The problem is we've seen him without one weapon, and he looks different, whereas these other guys, it's somewhere in between. What I was saying to Chris is it's hard to give Patrick Mahomes the MVP when he has Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill balling, and then give him the MVP because he doesn't have Tyreek Hill. Well, now it's really hard for him, right? Mm-hmm. So you can't do that and in good faith not have Brock Purdy part of the conversation if the numbers matter, because we know what his numbers are. And I do think storylines matter, but also at that same time, these other guys do not have what Brock has. That's also not Brock's fault.
Right. But I also think, to Chris's point, I think the MVP in the NFL means less than it does in baseball or the NBA. It's typically a quarterback award.
It's about respect, though.
But I agree with you, Chris. The 49er fans want their quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
Yes.
And the MVP's like, that's cool.
Yeah, that's the conversation I think they want to hear.
Well, maybe, look, and you know how social media can be. It depends on what your algorithm is. But I see a lot of, I was right on Brock Purdy. He's disrespected, and everybody is a victim.
That's because you were wrong.
I was not wrong on Brock. I said
I was.
No, you were wrong. These same people, right? These fans, you were wrong on Brock if after 8 games you didn't want him in Canton. You were wrong on Brock. And now it's, I told you he'd be this. Those fans, and I've said it before, those fans are the fans that go to baseball games and call a home run every time. Those fans are the same guys that said Jimmy was the guy, the same guy that said CJ Beathard was the guy, and they finally hit on Brock Purdy, and now they think they're GMs. And we got to give them their flowers every single day. It's exhausting. That's the problem with Brock Purdy. It's not Brock. Brock is a smaller QB. He's right up my alley. But the fans are just insufferable.
Wow.
They're insufferable.
I'm fully on board with him, but I have to admit, when he made the team as a rookie in camp, there was a lot of people that are saying, whoa, watch this guy. I said, he's no good. I said, Sudfeld's going to make the team as a backup. Yeah. Come on, you're kidding yourself. So I was dead wrong about that. But now I I see. Wow. Okay. I see why they picked him up. And I guess it was your team, wasn't it, Chris? The Vikings, according to reports, they were also very interested in Purdy.
Yes.
If he hadn't been drafted.
It's the same thing people are doing with Halliburton now in a way. Well, I told him. Whitey, here's the problem. Just enjoy. I know. So do I.
I thought the Warriors should have taken him.
But just enjoy the game. Whitey, people are more concerned about being right about Brock Purdy than they are. I do think it's closer than you think. I'm telling you, the ball is in the air, Chris. And people are drafting their texts. I thought he was checked down Charlie. Before they even catch the ball. Just enjoy the game.
You know why, though?
Eat some wings, even if they're boneless, and just enjoy the game.
It's because I understand what you're saying and how aggravating it can be, but it's because we've never really seen anything quite like it. And so it's a great story. It really is. And that's why people are having a hard time.
It's a great story, but it's just even what was it last week or whatever, when it's like, how is he 6th in MVP? This is so disrespectful. That was week 12, week 13. Can you just let it play out? And now it's, we told you. It's just, I've been waiting to get that out because they're just enjoy the game, man. I'm sorry. You're making Brock. How do you make an underdog less likable? Somehow a certain group of Niner fans are finding a way to make Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, finding a way to make him less likable. How do you do that?
See, I disagree with you. I understand your point, but to me, he's no less likable. I don't care how people are reacting to him. I'm just marveling at what he's doing. Marveling at what he's doing. You look at the numbers, what is it with a 70% completion percentage is we have 5 games in a row, which is the longest for the 49ers since Montana had 8 in 89. All these things like that. And sure, some of that system and Shanahan, but it's not all that, and it's incredible.
Yeah, and I don't want to do the game anymore. We can't do the game anymore. I think what is going to be tough, and I will say this. Brock, I don't want to say lucky. I'm not saying lucky, but Brock and whoever cares about Brock winning the MVP should be glad that the Chiefs lost to the Packers, because that conversation of what Mahomes is doing to not be that far behind Brock in numbers with guys that are basically JUCO wide receivers. I'm just saying you don't have to worry about it now because the Chiefs cannot win.
Is Harrison Barnes the Jimmy Garoppolo of the Kings? I think Chris and I talked about that weeks ago.
Is Harrison Barnes, excuse me?
Is Harrison Barnes the Jimmy Garoppolo of the Kings?
That's a crazy
statement. No.
It's
I like
a question.
It,
it's not.
You're just
asking questions.
I'm just asking the question, Alan.
You're not
No,
saying
he's
anything.
not.
You're just asking questions.
No, he's not. He's not. And I don't even know who that's disrespectful to be completely honest with you. I just know it's not.
Disrespectful to anyone.
It's just disrespectful in both. It's disrespectful to both. All right. Drive Guys up next.
I hope so.
Whitey is back. He was back yesterday. He's back today. First crosstalk, and he's already got me fired up. You get 4 more hours of this. Whitey and Draper, the Drive Guys, until tomorrow. Secure the bag, light the beam.
Can the Niners